Welcome to Chopping It Up with Josh and Jordan.
Welcome to the first ever episode of Chopping It Up with Josh and JJ.
Yes,
Man, we've been wanting to do a podcast for a while, man.
it's finally here. We've been talking about this since like junior year, I think, of high school for us.
I know, man. We've been wanting to do something like this for forever. Now we're finally getting up to it, man. How's that feel?
Yeah, man, it feels good. So pretty much I think what we're gonna be doing, it's obviously a sports focused podcast. You couldn't tell by
Yes,
our
sir.
backgrounds here we got set up. Um, we're both Braves fans, so we're gonna have a section called Tomahawk Talk where we talk about the Braves news, roster moves, things like that. Just stuff going on there.
Yeah, and that'll be a big segment on the show. You know, we're both big Braves fans, and hopefully we'll have a better season this year. So stay tuned for that. Then after that, we'll jump into the more wider range of baseball. Maybe get into a little bit of MLB stuff. Maybe even a little bit of WBC as World Baseball Classics coming up in about a month, I think,
That is
month or
coming
two,
up here, man.
something like that.
Looking at the USA roster, it's looking pretty stacked, but we'll talk more about that in the first episode.
Oh yes, sir.
We're also going to have a football section, and it might not be as big coming up here during the off season, but we're still going to have it. We're going to have find some stuff to talk about, whatnot, but we got the Super Bowl coming up here.
We do have the Super Bowl coming up this Sunday, so you know we'll go through all of that, our predictions, thoughts, and a few other things there. Then can't forget we'll have a few different sort of games going on too to sort of break up the different segments. Maybe some trivia type stuff, some different opinionated games, and for some of these games we'll go sort of one on one and you know picking different stuff, maybe like a draft style. And for that sort of stuff, and there's only one way, you know, there's only one winner. So you got to let us know in the comments who you think won the game.
Yes, sir. That's going to be up to the fans. We're also going to be putting out some polls and things like that in our community section on YouTube. So keep an eye out for those. Hopefully we'll be able
Oh yeah,
to,
that'll be fun.
yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get up on, I guess, other podcast platforms eventually. But starting out, we're just going to be on YouTube for now.
Yeah, and with us being on YouTube, I mean, you know, the main focus is this podcast, but also look forward to some other stuff because, you know, maybe we can get to putting some video game stuff out there. Maybe when it warms up and it's not like 20 degrees out here, we can do some other stuff. You know, maybe do some blitzball one-on-ones or something. I don't know. I feel like I could dice you up,
You
man.
sure you want
People would love
that?
to watch
I
that.
don't know. I don't know if you want that smoke, dude. I think I'll take your yard there a couple times, but
I don't know, man. I don't think you've ever taken me yard,
I've
man.
done it many times. Stop lying to these people.
I don't know.
Yeah, so looking at the what we got written here, it looks like we're going to be having a 9 innings segment. So what that is, 9 innings is a mobile game that we play. Us, our editor plays it. We're all in the same club that we created. Uh, so we're going to be talking about some stuff just regarding that game. A little short segment, probably each episode.
Yeah, and just like with the Tomahawk Top, that's probably something that'll pop up at least, you know, might not be as long, but it might pop up pretty much every episode. So look forward to that too. You know, we dive into, you know, maybe some roster changes and some pools that we get or upcoming stuff and whatnot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the 9 innings bit as well. And then to close it out, we'll just do a quick devotional and that'll wrap up this first episode. So I'm excited to kick it off and to dive in, man.
Yes, sir. Very excited, and we'll keep you guys updated. We'll get this first episode out as soon as we can.
Now it's time for Tomahawk Talk.
Oh man, that's great. You gotta love the accent there, a little bit of the southern hospitality. You can hear it in your voice, man.
Yes, sir. That's our man Biggins. We met him a few years back. Me and Josh did from 9 innings. He's definitely from down south. He's been a good friend of ours through the game though. I think he's got 4 accounts in our club, which is crazy to be able to manage that. But man, what a great guy, Biggins.
Yeah, you'll be hearing that a few times throughout the show, the different little intros to stuff. But yeah, man, it's a big thanks to him for all that. But now we're going on to our Tomahawk talk. Again, we said we're both really big Braves fans, but the last 2 years, man, injuries been killing us.
Oh my goodness, dude. Absolutely killer. We got a great potential young team. Lots of guys on long-term cheap contracts, which is what the Braves like to do. But man, injury riddle has been crazy.
Oh, it's definitely been annoying. But I mean, we've had a busy off season. I mean, a lot of different stuff, a lot of stuff to the coaching staff, a lot of stuff to the roster as well. Trying to hopefully bounce back and get to the postseason for 2026.
Yeah, certainly, man. Barely made it 2 years ago. Had that double header at the end of the year with the Mets where we split the series there and
I remember
both
that.
made
That
it
was
in.
wild.
Yeah, I
Ronaldo
was sitting at
Lopez.
work watching it. Yeah. Mm. But like you said, we had a lot of changes so far this year. Looking at the coaching staff, it's completely redone. But let's take a look at the roster changes over the offseason here for the Braves.
Yeah, Braves are actually pretty active this offseason. And that began with some nice bullpen acquisitions. Like the very first thing this entire offseason, re-signed Iggy to a 1 year deal. And I mean, he had a few issues at the beginning of the year, but I mean, just remember what he did last season. He was one of the best
Oh yeah,
relievers in all of baseball. So it's nice to have Iggy back. But the big signing, and in my opinion, this guy is the second best reliever on the market. My man Robert Suarez. He's gross, man. Gonna have him as setup. Oof. Nasty
yeah.
fastball.
The Padres obviously not needing him after they signed Mason Miller, so they were looking to sell, and Robert Suarez coming over to Atlanta. Looking at his stats from the last couple of years, he's been one of, if not the best closers in the league. Led the league last year with 40 saves and 36 the year before, both with sub 3 ERAs. A lot of
Mm.
strikeouts from him too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw something the other day that's like, out of the last 3 years, he has the most saves out of anybody. Like even guys
Yeah,
like Edwin Diaz and stuff because of injuries. And I heard that the Braves offered Diaz a contract, but he picked the Dodgers. But we'll get into that stuff later. But so we have Iggy Suarez, who will, Suarez will be the setup. It's already been said though. Suarez will be set up. Iggy at closer. But I mean, Suarez will still get plenty of save opportunities too. Maybe Iggy pitches one day and next day Iggy needs some rest. Suarez comes in and can probably try to get some saves and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I like this bullpen. We also got a more little under the radar deal, bringing back Tyler Kinley for another season. I mean, we got him last season at the deadline. He's pretty solid after coming over. I believe he had like a 1-something ERA with the Braves.
yeah, solid season last year. Again, like you said, not one of the biggest moves we made this offseason, but definitely something to take note of.
So yeah, hopefully the Braves will have a solid bullpen in 26. I mean, I think they got a top five bullpen. I'm just saying. I mean, the back end of the pen with Iggy Suarez. You still got Dylan Lee, Aaron Bummer, and I mean, even the long relievers. I mean, we're gonna have probably either Grant Holmes or Ronaldo Lopez as a long reliever. So if they're back and healthy, that's a again, I think that's a top five bullpen in baseball.
Yeah, I think that's not being too biased by any means here. Definitely a very solid bullpen there. But Braves also made some moves on the offensive side of the ball. Signing Mike Yastrzemski to start off the offseason. That was kind of a confusing move there, right, Josh?
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, I remember I first saw that. I'm like, why do we need another outfielder? We have the outfield locked up, but because I kind of thought the plan was to have alternating the catchers at DH, having Baldwin and Murphy both playing at the same time. That's kind of what we did for a little bit of last season as it kind of, Ozuna started to slump and they decided to go in with both catchers. But, especially seeing that Murphy's going to be hurt for about the first month of the season. So we'd be without a DH anyway. So I think it's a solid pickup. I mean, Yastrzemski with a decent bat. So, solid numbers, not crazy, but a decent lefty bat there.
Yeah, looking at his numbers with the Giants, obviously didn't break out until about 2019, and he was 28 years old already. But now in his
He had a
mid
fire
30s.
2020 season.
Oh yeah, great 2020 season. It looks like he had quite a few, or not crazy home run numbers. He's usually sitting around 20, but what we like to see out of him is that on base percentage, usually sitting in the 400s there, even with a low average. Guy walks quite a bit.
No, that's solid. Yeah, again, solid move there. I think it's not something that's like it's a crazy, it's not like a Kyle Schwarber badge who's gonna, move the ceiling for this team up crazily, but it kind of moves the floor up because, think of all the injuries and stuff we've been through, and especially with the outfield. I mean, how many games last year did we have our full starting outfield healthy and playing? I mean, maybe 60 games.
Maybe
So
60, yeah.
yeah, with the, Acuna recovering from the ACL, uh, different other injuries and profile with the suspensions and stuff. So having that extra outfielder, if something does go wrong, he can play any of the outfield positions, move guys around, and then you can go to your double catchers at DH. So it's just another move that really adds a lot of depth. So solid signing there. But the biggest move of this offseason, I think, for the Braves was bringing back Ha-Seong Kim on a 1 year deal. I mean, he was with the Braves the end of last season. They picked him up after he got released. But I mean, unfortunately, he's already hurt, man. What is the deal with injuries? We already got Murphy and Ha-Seong Kim on the injured list. You bring Kim back on a 1 year deal, and then he breaks his finger slipping on ice. Like, come on, man.
I swear, man, these injury concerns, they just don't ever go away for Atlanta, it seems. Yeah, we have Ha-Seong Kim already hurt along with Sean Murphy, but that also brings in another acquisition the Braves made this offseason, bringing in Mauricio Dubon. So he's probably going to be starting the season at shortstop with Kim injured.
Yeah, I mean, Dubon, not a crazy piece, more of a utility type of guy. Very similar to Nick Allen, which that was the trade. It was Dubon for Nick Allen, but solid glove. But not great with the bat, but you'll do. Because Kim's only projected to miss like a month or two at the most, so hopefully it won't be anything too crazy. But again, with Kim, you get immaculate defense, solid bat. Just think of what was it, 2023, that he just went crazy. He had some like MVP votings and stuff too. So it depends how Kim can get back and get healthy, but especially after the Braves shortstop worries last season. I mean, what Nick Allen had like no home runs throughout his
Yeah,
first like 120 games or whatnot, and Kim hit a few. So that's an infinite boost at least with home runs. So it's nice to have Kim back.
yeah, man. I think I saw an account on Instagram throughout the season last year that was tracking how many barrels people had throughout the year, and I think their goal was to see who was the last man standing with 0 barrels, and their winner was Nick Allen last year. So hopefully,
He
hopefully we'll have a jump there with Kim coming back.
I mean, he was fun to watch with the glove, but I mean, Kim just as great of a defender. But you're gonna have a big upgrade with the bat, hopefully, when he gets back and healthy.
I
But we also got
also,
some coach
oh
changes, man.
yeah, lots of coaching changes here. I've got this pulled up. The Obviously we know the Braves. They promoted Walt Weiss to the new manager. Um,
Hmm.
so with that change, he wanted to bring in a younger coaching staff with him. So we've got a lot of changes here. A lot of guys coming in from different teams. We
Yeah, first
have
getting a little bit of pieces from everywhere, bringing all sorts of new faces.
yeah, we got JP Martinez coming in as the bullpen coach. He was with the Giants. I believe he was just a pitching coach in general over there. So did
Yeah,
some
he
great
was
work
there.
with
Yeah, he was the
Logan
pitching
Webb.
coach.
Yeah, great work with Logan Webb
And
and
I
some
mean,
other
all
pieces
sorts
over
of
there.
those unique arms with Rogers, man. I mean, one
Yeah,
of the
dude.
more interesting relievers. So if you can work with someone like that, I mean, relievers are always weird. So to have someone like that helping with the pen, that's nice.
Yeah. Looking at some other guys he brought in, we got Tony Mansolini as the bench coach and Jeremy Hefner coming in at pitching coach. And we also got new first and third base coaches as well, with Antoine Richardson coming to do first base coaching and We got Tommy Watkins coming from Minnesota to be the third base coach.
Which one was the one who was brought over from the Mets? Because he is a great base running coach. Because he had Juan Soto last season, his first season with the Mets. That was his best stolen base season by far. And you never would have thought of Soto as a base thief. So to imagine him having guys like Acuna and Harris who have plus speed, maybe even Ozzy getting some stolen base numbers. Ooh, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, man, lots of changes there. Hopefully that'll help the base running. Remember that one incident we had last year? That was kind of ugly. But yeah, hopefully we'll have a lot of changes there. And also staying at the hitting coach, we got Tim Hires coming back.
Yeah, Hires. I remember when we got him. What was it last year? After some down year performances from a few different bats, but we'll see. Give him a second year back with some of these guys, and hopefully get some other guys like maybe Riley. Maybe we can get Riley going. I'd love that 'cause he's been injured the last few years, hasn't played much more than 100 games. So Riley's a big guy to look for next season.
Yeah, speaking of Riley and the coaching staff, we saw an interview the other day with what was it? We had Ozzy, Riley, and Olson. I think it was an interview with the
Yeah,
infield. They were talking about
that was a
Walt Weiss coming up. Yeah, the guys were saying they really are looking forward to seeing what he can do. That he really deserves this spot.
Yeah, it's nice when you have a new head coach, but yet it's someone who's been in the system before. And he's also, he's coached other places like with the Rockies. Now, granted, it's the Rockies, so you look at some of those performances, you're like, oh my goodness, that was not the best team. But again, it's the Rockies. I feel like if you're, gonna manage the Rockies, it's the same thing as being a Browns coach, in the NFL. It's you're just kind of doomed for failure from the start. But it's nice to have a familiar guy back with this Braves coaching staff.
Oh, certainly, man. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what the young pitchers can do this year. Obviously, you got AJ
Mm.
Smith-Shawver still recovering from injury from last year. But we got the young guys.
Yeah.
Remember, Spencer Strider's still a young guy. A lot of people forget how young he is.
I mean, that's the thing. We didn't really make any changes to this rotation, but you got Sale slotted in as the one. And I mean, when he is healthy, there's really only a few other pitchers, like especially in the National League, that are better than a healthy Chris Sale. But the guys who are going to make or break this rotation, Spencer Strider and Schwellenbach in the middle of this rotation. Because then, we have possibly Waldrop at the 4 spot and maybe either Grant Holmes or Ronaldo Lopez in the 5 spot. And I mean, as long as we can keep Bryce Elder out of this rotation,
Please, please.
hopefully it'll be a better season. I mean,
Not
I'd rather
Bryce
bring up
Elder.
like Didier Fuentes or something, but not
hmm
Bryce Elder again, man.
Come on, man. Anything
But
but Bryce Elder.
the guys who will make or break the 2026 rotation will be both of those Spencers. I mean, because they both put up great numbers, but both coming back from injuries, both dealing with certain things. My question for you, Jordan, is which Spencer will have the better 2026, Strider or Schwellenbach?
I'm really, really high on Spencer Schwellenbach, but I think I'm gonna have to say Spencer Strider's gonna have the better 2026 season. Looking at his 22 and 23 years, obviously
Oof.
some nasty stats he's putting up as a rookie and a second year guy. Crazy stuff out of the guy. But obviously he dealt with the injury in 2024 and then coming back still recovering from it in 25. Not the greatest stats putting up, but I'm looking for a bounce back season out of him this year in 2026.
The big thing for me with Strider is that the new Braves pitching coach, they just brought him in, and the very first thing he said was, I was looking at the tape and I see where I can fix Spencer Strider. Apparently Strider dropped his arm slot a few degrees, and that's, he hasn't been able to get the vertical rise on his fastball like he used to. So, if he's able to get that back, maybe get a little bit more oomph on his fastball, with, RPMs and stuff, getting that up. But also, that also allows for better control and better depth from his slider. So if he can do that again, a year out now from his surgery, maybe he can get some of that strength back in his arm because there was a significant drop off with his velocity. That's my worry with Strider. But with Schwellenbach, I don't know, man. Schwellenbach was consistently getting up there at 100 miles an hour before he got hurt. I mean, he was throwing gas. I don't know who will throw harder next season. I don't know. I kind of think Schwellenbach might have him. What do you think?
Yeah, we remember back before the injury for Strider and the changes he made to the pitching motion. He was consistently hitting 100, 101 even. But Schwellenbach, like you said, just last year hitting 101. I'm thinking he's going to be throwing harder this year with the changes that Strider's been making.
Yeah, I mean, I love Spencer Schwellenbach. He's just a fun guy. It's just unfortunate that he got hurt. He was what, an all-star, and he's putting up insane numbers for again, a second year dude. But again, with going on to Strider, those numbers that he put up in 22 and 23, that was also before he brought out that curveball. So I remember in 20, what was it? It was 24 during spring training. He was dicing everyone up, bringing out that new curveball, and he still has that. So we'll see with Strider, but I'm still really high in Schwellenbach. I think Schwellenbach can still put up some solid numbers, and we'll see how the Spencers do in 2026, man.
Yeah, really looking forward to see the stuff out of them. I'm also interested to see Hurston Waldrop. I think he's going to have a really good breakout year this year.
I agree. I mean, he did well last season after, he came up and down throughout 24 a few times, but he eventually found a spot and got in the groove. Nasty splitter. Again, pretty solid fastball, sit up in the mid 90s, but we'll see. We'll see how this rotation can do. Hopefully we can stay healthy because, last season every single player on the opening day rotation spent significant time on the IR. So hopefully we can have a healthy rotation. That's my hope.
Yeah, and
Again,
probably
keeping
not going to see Smith Shawver coming back this year, but man, next year if we got a healthy rotation, that's going to be whew.
yeah, and again, if we can keep Bryce Elder off the team, like that's I mean, sorry to Bryce Elder. He actually had some decent starts. It's crazy. He'd either go 6 innings giving up maybe 1 run, or he'd go 1 inning giving up 6 runs. So very, very interesting on him. But if we can maybe keep him down at AAA or something, then that this rotation's been healthy and it's done its job throughout 2026.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be looking for. Now, I got a question for you, Josh. Obviously,
Oh man.
we see Drake Baldwin winning Rookie of the Year last year. Great season from the guy. But my question to you is, with all of the Rookie of the Year campaigns the Braves have seen over the last 30, 40 years, where do you think Baldwin ranks up with the rest of the guys?
Now I'm just looking at mainly the last 5 Rookie of the Years, and it's tough to compare because Baldwin's a catcher, so it's a little different. I mean, you got to think about how much production the catcher position brings, and it's typically not. I mean, typically catchers will probably sit around at 700 OPS because of how fatiguing it is uh, and mentally difficult to be a catcher. But the big thing that stands out for me with Baldwin is how he was able to deal with the pitching staff. I mean, you're the guy back there calling all the pitches, calling the game plans, so it's difficult to kind of do that as a rookie player and put up the numbers that he did. I mean, a 3.3 WAR season, 274 average, 19 homers for 810 OPS. I mean, he had a solid season. But looking back at some of the other Braves Rookie of the Years, I don't know, man. It's hard to rank him because again, he is a catcher, so that just adds so much more layer to the position. Because in my opinion, that is the toughest position to play in all of baseball as a catcher.
Yeah, certainly
But
a very tough comparison here with like you said, with him being a catcher, it's tough to compare him up, but like you said, the last five Rookie of the Years for the Braves, we're looking at in what was it? In 22, we had Michael Harris win it. 2018,
Harris, Acuna, a few years back, Kimbrel, Furcal, Justice. And again, the last few years, the Braves prospects, the prospect system's always ranked like towards the bottom of baseball, which to me is always funny because it feels like every single year we just have this random guy who just steps up out of nowhere and puts up almost all-star level numbers. I mean, even think back last year with Schwellenbach, right? Schwellenbach stepped up and put up a like a 3.2 ERA, and he's gross, and he's still now, probably the three guy going into our rotation. But I mean, I don't know. It's hard because Harris, his rookie of the year was incredible. Amazing defense, 297 average, 19 homers, and an 853 OPS. I don't think Baldwin was quite that good last year, and hopefully Harris can get back to that, man, because we're kind of missing that thump in that lineup. Again, a great defense by Harris, but we haven't really seen him play to that level since his rookie campaign. And then again, Acuna, you can't beat Acuna's rookie year. Probably the best Braves player of the last 10, 15 years. Ronald Acuna Jr. Probably a top five player when healthy. Again, he had a great rookie campaign, 26 homers. Kimbrel too, you can't really compare a catcher with a reliever. And then you have for call and Justice, where I think Baldwin kind of beats both of those out. For call, I mean a 4 WAR, but only 4 homers and a 776 OPS. Great season from Justice too, though, 2.9 WAR. But again, you're not playing a amazing position like catcher that calls for a lot. Again, he had 28 homers and a 908 OPS, but you're not playing one of the most taxing defensive positions in all of baseball.
Yeah, it seemed like, especially for those last two guys there, it was a bit of the opposite for their seasons. You had Furcal with the 4 WAR, but really only 4 home runs, not a lot of offensive numbers, a lot of
That's
defense,
them.
and
That's
then
them Nick Allen numbers. That's them Nick
yes,
Allen
sir,
numbers.
well, Andrelton Simmons action in there. And then we had
Oh,
David Justice, just the opposite. Terrible fielding, but man, terrific offensive numbers. Then you got Acuna. Man, he's a great mix of both. There's no way you can say Baldwin beat his campaign.
no,
Again,
I
Kimbrel tough to compare, but
yeah, I mean, Kimbrel, one of his best seasons was his rookie campaign. The most amount of strikeouts he had in his entire career came in his rookie campaign, 127 strikeouts. He never beat that in the season. 2.1 ERA, 46 saves. Hopefully those are numbers we'll see from Robert Suarez next year. But again, you can't really compare that. But I don't know. I'd still probably give Kimbrel the edge though because 2.5 WAR as a reliever is wild. I
yeah,
mean,
he came
especially
what, like
rookie reliever.
seventh? Yeah, seventh in Cy Young voting or something like that year in his
As
rookie
a
year
rookie
as a
reliever is
reliever. Gosh
crazy.
sakes, man.
But no,
Insane,
I
man.
looking forward to Baldwin next year. And I mean, again, it'll be very similar to actually how last season started. Murphy going down with injury at the beginning of the year so that Baldwin gets that opportunity. I mean, I remember talking to you at the beginning of last season in spring training and stuff. I was like, you know what? Look at Drake Baldwin. I think this guy's gonna make the roster and do something special. And well, he made the roster opening day catcher and he went on to win rookie of the year. So, maybe we can make some more, hopefully make some more great calls like that in the future.
Yeah, man. That was pretty crazy for you. You did technically call that in spring training. Like, man, yeah, Baldwin, he's gonna make the roster. He's gonna make a big impact on the team, and boy, did he ever.
And the thing with Baldwin is like the first few weeks, he had like the worst luck I've ever seen. He kept crushing balls foul. He had like multiple that were robbed that should have been homers. Took him a while to get that first homer, but I'm looking forward to him next year. I mean, especially after having a season now under his belt, and it's gonna be fun. And I mean, we also get the extra first round pick for Baldwin winning Rookie of the Year, so that's also pretty cool, man. That not only great performance from him, but hey, we get an extra draft pick, so that's also really cool to help develop this farm system even more, which at the moment is actually currently on the rise, but maybe we'll talk about that another day.
Yeah, dude, like you said, Baldwin extremely unlucky at the start of last year. Man, it looked like me playing MLB The Show. He's crushing balls 105 right at people, man.
I
It's
remember
tough.
that. It was crazy. I'm like, man, when is this guy gonna get his first home run? And then he put up almost 20 homers. So great year from Baldwin. Now we kind of have a two-part question, and this will end our Tomahawk talk here. But again, we talked about the injuries of the Braves. But will the Braves really be able to bounce back in 2026? And if
Listen,
healthy, what teams would you even put above the 2026 Braves? Because again,
well,
theoretically, every season I say that the Braves should be a top 5, top 3 team, but the last 2 years, I've never seen the amount of injuries in any sports franchise that the Braves have had in the last 2 years.
Nah, man, absolutely insane. Terrible luck with the injuries these last few years. But uh, really, what I've been looking at is if we can stay healthy, I think there's only a few teams better than I would say maybe obviously the Dodgers. They
Yeah.
spending all the money in the world, and then maybe I'm looking at the Red Sox with the bolsters to their rotation. They might be better than the Braves this
I don't
year,
know.
but
I don't think I'd put the Red Sox because the Red Sox offense is not. I mean, you're losing Alex Bregman. You don't have that. You've lost that great bat that you've had for years with Bregman and Devers. You don't have that anymore, and I don't think the Red Sox have that thump offensively. Again, they have a good rotation, but again, we'll see how the Spencers do for the Braves. I'd almost put them up against the Red Sox rotation. So I don't know about the Red Sox. It could be close. We'll see. But
yeah, you
a
gotta
team that
watch
I
out for
think
them.
a team that I think it'll be tough is it's always tough against the Phillies, man. I mean, they lost Ranger Suarez, great arm, but again, Wheeler healthy and Nola, all those guys. It's always tough against Philly. One of the best offenses in baseball. They made a bunch of moves this offseason too, so it's always fun to see that rivalry. One of the best rivalries is the entirety of the top of the NL East with the Mets, Phillies, and Braves. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see with that. Hopefully the Braves can best the Phillies, be on top, maybe win the National League East. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be great to see this year. And yeah, as long as we can stay healthy, I think this should be a great bounce back year for Atlanta.
But I said that last year too. I mean, 2024, we had an insane amount of injuries. Again, with, your best player on the team, Acuna tearing his ACL, and then Strider hurting, what was it, his UCL, having a second Tommy John. So you lose, arguably your best young pitcher, one of the best bats in all of baseball, one of the best talents, especially after 2023 where Acuna won MVP. You lose him. I mean, that's your two stars, your two, immaculate start, and then Riley going down too for some time, Ozzy going down. I mean, it's just been rough. The last time we've had a pretty healthy team was 2023, and that was one of the, that was a historic offense, one of the best offenses we've ever seen in all of baseball. I mean, I remember that was so fun to watch because the amount of home runs that the 2023 Braves team was hitting. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to be like that in 2026, but if healthy, we'll see. Maybe we can go back to a 90 plus win team.
Yeah, in that 23 season, we saw the solid rock of Matt Olson, the only guy who does not ever get injured for this Atlanta team. He hit what, 53 home runs that year?
It was wild, man. I Here's the thing. I feel like I don't know when it's going to happen. it's I don't know. It's kind of a bad omen that I have that I feel like one of these seasons the entire team is going to be healthy except Matt Olson. Something's just going to happen. The entire team is going to be healthy, but Matt Olson is the MLB's current Iron Man. He played the most consecutive games so far. It's like 800 something or something wild, but I don't know. Hopefully Olson can keep staying healthy and mashing for the Braves. Because he was
Yes,
probably
sir.
the Braves' best bat last year. Matt Olson, the consistent, putting some pop up there. But again, last year, just not a lot of guys around him because of all the injuries. But yeah, I think the Braves are probably a top 5 team if healthy. But again, that's the big question is if they're going to be healthy.
It is a big if for sure. But I think that's gonna wrap up Tomahawk Talk for this episode.
Hopefully, there's still talks that the Braves might go out and get another starter to add some depth in because really there are a lot of question marks because you have Chris Sale. But again, he's getting up there in age. You have both Spencers who are coming off of, Strider not the best season, still kind of working through that injury, getting back to 100%. Schwellenbach missed the rest of the season because of injury. You have Grant Holmes and Ronaldo Lopez who only pitched a handful of innings because of injury. Waldrop is still a question mark. So the rotation is a big question mark. They can either be great or, there's a lot of question marks. So maybe next time we have this Tomahawk talk, who knows? Maybe we'll have a new guy on the rotation to talk about, but we'll see.
And I'm gonna make a prediction right now, Josh. Just
All right. Oh
completely out of
man.
the blue prediction right here.
Oh man. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
At the deadline, the Braves are gonna sign Jared Jones out of Pittsburgh. That's my prediction.
Jones out of Pittsburgh. That's interest. That's an interesting take, man. That's
That's
certainly
the
one of those that's like you're just taking the most wild shot possible, so that if it somehow does come true, you just got like, man, look at this incredible call that I had. But yeah, that pretty
when
much
it
wraps
happens,
up
man.
this Tomahawk talk, man. And time to move on to the rest of the stuff that we got planned for this episode.
Yes, sir. All right, so we've heard about the Braves' moves in the offseason here, but there was a lot of other teams making moves as well, man. Lots of big moves here, lots of big names signing with other teams, even just up to this last week.
So man, it has been a busy off season. I mean, every off season's crazy, but with inflation and different values of players, it's certainly been crazy. All sorts of money getting thrown out, all sorts of deals happening. Like it's always unfortunate because during the off season, there's no more baseball, but at the same time, everything's happening during the off season, so it's always fun. It's always fun.
Yeah, you could even say the
But
off
we have
season is more important than the regular season in some aspects, especially I'd say much more important than spring training. But yeah, we've had a lot of moves here. You got some of them pulled up there you want to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, it's always fun to see all these new guys. That's why I especially love spring training because it's like, oh man, seeing this guy for the first time wearing your uniform or whatnot, or not seeing a guy on a specific team. It's always pretty weird, but yeah, got a bunch of different moves throughout this offseason. I'll start with the Blue Jays. One of the teams in the World Series. The team representing the American League. I mean, they've been pretty busy. They got Dylan Cease on a big 7-year deal. Dylan Cease, great mustached man as well. He's I don't know. I've always thought that it'd be fun for the Braves to get Cease because you had two of the best mustaches in the game on the same team. But he went other directions to the Blue Jays. But they also got Okamoto, a solid third baseman coming across the Pacific, man.
Yeah,
I don't know a whole lot about him, but
yeah, man. Just seeing the Blue Jays last year coming out of the World Series, dude, they put up quite the fight. I wasn't even expecting to see them there in the first place, but they put up a fight. And
I agree.
yeah,
Yeah, the Blue Jays would not have been one of my first picks to go to the World Series in the American League.
no,
But one of my favorite things, I know you're a big fan of him. The young pitcher for the Blue Jays. I'm blanking on his name right now.
yeah, Trey Savage really broke out, especially in the postseason last year. Great stuff out of him.
No, he's fun to watch. But why I say his name is because he has one of the most over the top arm slots out of any pitcher in baseball. But a big signing by the Blue Jays was my man Tyler Rogers, who is as submarine as it gets. Like sometimes I don't know how in the world he doesn't hit his hand on the mound as he's flinging it, but it's gonna be so unique to seeing that. You see Savage coming way over the top with that heater and have some good breaking balls coming out of that. And then, next at bat you gotta do a Tyler Rogers essentially throwing it from the ground. So that I can't wait to see some clips of that, maybe some overlays of, way up top to, as submarine as it gets me.
Oh yeah, man. All of those guys are going to be showing the overlays, but yeah, if you've seen some of those slow motion clips of Rogers throwing his pitches, dude, sometimes you can see the dirt kick up.
You can. And one of my favorite clips of all time is Rogers throwing that like rising slider, and I forget who was batting. He swung at it and it hit him in the face.
Absolutely incredible, dude.
But the Blue Jays made a bunch of great moves, but they did lose Bo Bichette. and we'll get to the Mets in a second. Another team I want to talk about is the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, being in Maryland, we got a bunch of Orioles fans. It's always weird. We got all the Orioles. We've gone to a few Orioles games and stuff. Braves play the Orioles. Hopefully we'll do that again, this year too. Maybe do something like that. But the Orioles were very active, especially, starting off with bringing in Pete Alonso. So that was kind of weird. I
Hmm.
gotta be honest. I kind of saw the Polar Bears staying with the Mets, but I didn't really see him walking, Jordan.
Yeah, I guess they had different plans for him. Obviously, a lot of Orioles fans really happy about that move. I was talking to my buddy Ethan at work. He told me to shout him out in this podcast, so
Oh,
here's a shout out to him. But
there you go.
yeah, I was talking to him at work the day that Alonso signed, and probably about 20 minutes before he signed, there wasn't really much chatter about it. But
No.
Ethan, he came up to me, he said, "Yeah, Pete Alonso in the next hour is about to sign with the Orioles." I said, "Man, I don't know what you're talking about, but all
Wow.
right." And sure enough, I got the notification from Jeff Passan not long after.
I mean that's a big upgrade to that offense because that offense of the Orioles. I mean, you got a bunch of young talent, but to also bring in more of a vet, a big thumper like a polar bear man, whew, that'll be a fun offense. But they also brought in Taylor Ward from the Angels. Now, I don't know. That was Taylor Ward's a great piece, but in order to get him, they gave up Grayson Rodriguez. And I mean, I know we enjoy Grayson Rodriguez, from the show, throwing 101 miles an hour with some interesting breaking stuff. But I know he has certain command issues and he hasn't fully broken in at the big league level. But some injuries and stuff derailed him last year. But I don't know if I would have given up Grayson Rodriguez for Taylor Ward. What's your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, no, there was a time where Grayson Rodriguez was one of the top like five, maybe even top three prospects in the league.
Hmm.
Uh, he came up, didn't really perform that well, like you said, but man, I was very surprised to see him going off to LA, especially for a guy like Taylor Ward, man. Like he's had a couple good stretches, but nah, man, not very consistent.
Ward's a solid piece, and I think it's certainly an upgrade over someone like Mullins, but I don't know. I wouldn't give up uh Rodriguez for him because that's my big thing with
Mm-mm.
this Orioles team. I mean, they're bringing back Eflin, but outside of that, I mean, they don't have a good rotation at all. They had a terrible rotation last year, and going into next year, I mean, you're making it almost worse. Now they did trade for Shane Baz, who has a lot of upside, so he could certainly put up something. But I mean, when you're thinking about the Orioles, there aren't. I don't know. It's not the deepest of rotations.
Like I was saying with my buddy Ethan, he also got me the other day when before Framber Valdez ended up signing with the Tigers. So I was talking to him and he told me that Framber Valdez signed with the Orioles. I really did believe him. I went back in the office. I pulled up Twitter or X, I
Would have
guess.
been a good
I
move.
was scrolling all through Jeff Passan. I said, "What is this guy talking about, man? It is a complete prank." But he got me good on that one, man.
I mean, they also bolstered their pen with Helsley and Kittredge, and I don't know. I haven't seen where Felix Bautista is with stuff. So if they can get him back, I mean that could be a pretty solid staff with the pen. Again, big question mark is the rotation. I don't know. I wouldn't be super confident in the Orioles rotation, but a solid upgrade. Certainly offensively with Alonso and Ward. I mean, you got Henderson. Um, Hopefully Rutschman can bounce back. He had a pretty down year. So I mean, I think the Orioles could certainly do something this year.
Yeah. Yeah, Rutschman is the other question mark on offense there because we saw his great rookie year, solid second year, but he's kind of fallen off the cliff a little bit
Yeah.
there
I mean,
last season, being one of the worst catchers in the league.
again, great defensively, but offensively, he did not have a great season. I mean, Drake Baldwin put up a OPS almost 120 points higher than Adley Rutschman, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see the Orioles next year in that AL East. Another AL East team that I think made a bunch of moves to actually make this division. This is going to be a tough division, man. The Red Sox bringing in Ranger Suarez, Sonny Gray, Oviedo, and even bringing in a guy like Wilson Contreras. I mean, that's going to be a star-studded rotation. You were talking about that earlier, man. You're pretty high on this Red Sox team, especially that rotation.
Yeah, man, I'm really, really high on this Red Sox team. Like you said, the bolster to the rotation, they got who I think could win the Cy Young this year in Garrett Crochet. Obviously bringing in Suarez as well, who was one of the top AL or NL pitchers last year. Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be a very solid rotation. Obviously, like you said, bringing in Sonny Gray as well. They got other guys that are sticking around there. And then their bullpen also a great bullpen, man. They're bringing who they bring in there? They already have Aroldis Chapman, who was one of, if not the best closers last year.
Yeah, no other
Uh,
like big
to
acquisitions from the pen for the Red Sox, but I think they already had a pretty solid pen, so we'll see if they make any more moves. But the thing that I mean, they also added in Brendan Rodgers, and IKF, so some depth pieces. But my thing with the Red Sox, I think they have the complete opposite problem as the Orioles. They don't have an offense. I mean, they bring in a Wilson Contreras, but he's he's kind of fallen off the cliff. But I mean, think about this Red Sox offense. You don't have that big bat in that lineup anymore. The Red Sox are so weird with deals. I mean, you had Mookie Betts a while back, gave him away, and then they did the same thing with Devers, and it kind of made you think that okay, Bregman's going to be their guy going forward, and they didn't retain him. So this offense, I don't know. Who do they? What's your thoughts on this Red Sox offense?
yeah, you're talking about their weird history with letting guys go. They also did the same with Xander Bogaerts a few years back as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, this offense is really led by Jarren Duran and guys like that, but you got to watch out for the young guys they brought up late last year. They brought up Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell over there.
that's true. That's
They,
true.
very young guys. They have great upside, not very bad floors either. They can be great pieces coming in later on in this season.
Yeah, and
I definitely expect the Red Sox to make the postseason this year for
I
sure.
think that's going to be a really competitive AL East because like we said, the Orioles made a bunch of moves. Red Sox, bunch of moves. You know, the Blue Jays went to the World Series, and I mean the Yankees too. They're still the Yankees. You're gonna get Garrett Cole back this year, coming off an injury. Not a crazy amount of moves from the Yankees. A lot of more just bringing guys back. They did trade for Ryan Weathers, but you know, not maybe the wildest move there. Crazy deal for Cody Bellinger though. They gave him a lot of money. I don't know. Again, this market's a little inflated, you know, with Bellinger getting the sort of deal that he did, getting Grisham back. I mean, the Yankees are going to be solid, but that's something I'm looking forward to is the fight in the AL East.
Yeah, man. How about the other New York team? You said they made a couple interesting moves there as well. The Mets.
Oh man, the Mets. See, as a Braves fan, I certainly thought that the Braves were having the best offseason in the NL East. It was looking like that for a while, and then out of nowhere, the Mets just signed everybody, getting Bo Bichette on a 3-year deal. Now there's some opt-outs and certain stuff with that. He's getting about 40 a year, and then they traded for Freddie Peralta, who again he's a top pitcher in the National League, coming over from the Brewers and you know getting the deal done with Robert. I mean, Robert hasn't had the seasons that he has a few years ago. I mean, he's one of the best bats in baseball. He's kind of dropped off a little bit. Then they made the deal with Marcus Semien, trading for him, bringing him over from the Rangers, getting Devin Williams to replace Edwin Diaz, getting Jorge Polanco and all of this type of stuff. So they've been very busy this off season. But I mean, you kind of have to when you're losing guys like Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz and trading away Nimmo, McNeil, losing Rogers and uh all sorts of guys like that, losing Helsley and Soto. So I don't know. Where do you think the Mets are gonna sit next year, man?
You know, this is a completely new Mets team. Completely new.
There's only a
Obviously,
handful of
they
guys that
got
are back. You got um
Yeah,
Lindor, and
Lindor
that's
obviously
about it.
coming back. Yeah, I mean, so many moves, but they had to be made, like you said, with letting all those guys go. Like, I mean, they had to make some moves, and to their credit, they certainly did. But I'm looking at payrolls here, projected for 26. Dude, the
Yep.
Mets are second, Phillies third, and then the Braves are seventh. So that NL East is spending quite a bit of money
Yeah, no, I mean
this
Philly had a good
upcoming
off
year.
season too, bringing back Schwarber and Real Muto. Not a crazy off season bringing back Garcia, but again, Philly one of the better teams last year. You are losing Suarez, but hopefully Wheeler will be back for them, healthy for. I mean, you're losing Bader and Strom, but still, I mean, if you're able to re-sign a guy like Carl Schwarber, that's a pretty successful off season.
Yeah, and they'll have a healthy Aaron Nola hopefully this year. Well, I hope not actually, but
Yeah, yeah.
hopefully for Phillies fans, they're hoping to see Nola back to his form. Remember back in 22, he was one of the better pitchers in the league.
Yeah, I mean he's always been one of the top guys when healthy, but another team that I want to look at, not necessarily for their acquisitions, but more of their subtractions. Listen to this from the Cardinals. You trade away Brendan Donovan. You trade away Nolan Arenado. You trade away Sonny Gray, and you trade away Wilson Contreras. So they're certainly going into rebuild mode after being a pretty solid team a few years ago.
I'll be honest, Josh, those players you listed are probably like four of the six players I could have named on the Cardinals team from last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, letting all those guys go, they got to be in complete rebuild mode here. Looking at they are 28th out of 30 teams in payroll for this upcoming season,
Mm,
even below the Rockies, the White Sox, the Rays.
wow.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Cardinals fans are feeling right now. You're losing just about everything. I mean, the Cardinals really haven't done too much since they've lost Yachty and Pujols and stuff. So it's kind of been rough because a few years ago, again, they were solid. You have Arenado and some great pieces, but over the years, it's kind of they're shifting to a full rebuild. But
Certainly, sir.
another team that was sneakily really active this all season, the Cubs bringing in Alex Bregman on a huge deal. Again, we talked about Bregman leaving the Red Sox, but that's a huge deal. Again, they are losing Kyle Tucker though, one of the, I'd certainly say a top five outfielder. But you do bring in Bregman, so that is a good pivot. They traded for Edward Cabrera, that's a solid arm for Miami. I mean, he's always fun to watch with the 90 something mile an hour changeups. I don't even know how you do that or call it a changeup, but he's certainly
Yeah.
a interesting arm. Again, that's a solid rotation. You got Shota Imanaga as well. They brought in Hunter Harvey and some few relievers, but I don't know. That'll be a interesting thing to see who's going to win the NL Central. I don't know. Who's your money on there?
I think you got to have your money on the Cubs here, but of course you got to watch out for the Pirates. I think they made a couple moves. They obviously not one of the biggest spending teams here in the off season, but making a couple moves, I think they'll be a little bit of a contender there in the NL Central.
Yeah,
And of course you got the Brewers every year somehow.
getting low and bringing O'Hearn back, Gregory Soto, Mason Montgomery. So a few pieces there, but I don't know. That'll certainly be a fun battle. And the Reds too, bringing in Gino Suarez, brought in Pierce Johnson. So I don't know. We'll see with the Central. But obviously the biggest thing this off season, the Dodgers, man, going out
The
getting
elephant in the room.
Kyle Tucker, giving him, what was it, like 50 a year, 60 a year, 60 a year, right?
Yeah,
Bringing Edwin
60 a year.
Diaz
Yep.
over. Not only did they get the best offensive free agent on the market in Kyle Tucker, who, again, solid pop, great on base, but you're also bringing the best reliever, not only on the market, but in baseball with Edwin Diaz. The Trumpets are moving over to LA and also bringing back, Miguel Rojas, sorry. And I mean, how do you not after the World Series, Rojas with a big homer?
Oh yeah, dude, huge moment from that guy. Um, but yeah, bringing over Kyle Tucker, what a crazy contract he just signed, man. That is insane. 60 a year. Obviously, they got Shohei Ohtani, one of probably the best player in baseball history,
Yeah.
with $10 million per year. Then Kyle Tucker. What are we doing?
I
Inflation is insane, dude.
That brings me to a question. And there's a few other moves. Giants making a few moves, bringing in Arias and Bader. Padres, re-signing Michael King. Bringing in a few other pieces as well. Good old Rockies doing Rockies things, just giving away players. Got rid of Orlando Arcia and Toglia and gave Farmer away. We got Farmer, but um, the thing that I want to talk about, we're talking about the Dodgers. Man, Jordan, are the Dodgers ruining baseball? They're spending so much money. It feels like every single offseason they are signing the best guys on the market. It's always the best starter, the best reliever, the best bats, all going to LA every year, and that's ignoring them trading for pieces too. So are the Dodgers ruining baseball? And if so, how should it be fixed, man?
It's hard to look at an off season like the Dodgers here, obviously going for the three-peat. It's impossible to look at that and be like, yeah, man, that sounds like a fun thing to do for baseball. But I mean, I'm looking at the numbers here, all right? The tax threshold obviously at 244 million this upcoming year. The Dodgers payroll is $396 million.
Man,
That is 150 million over the threshold. Their luxury tax, $143 million. That's
mm.
bringing their total payroll and tax bill up to 540 for this upcoming season.
And
That's 120 more than the Mets.
I think I even saw something where on the Kyle Tucker deal, because of the luxury tax, he had to pay almost double his salary per year because of the luxury tax. So he had to pay like an extra 40, 50 million on top of the guaranteed 60. So it's crazy. They don't mind these different boundaries that have been set in place. They say, you know what, we'll take the cost. We'll keep spending.
Yeah, and honestly, you can't blame them with how much they're bringing in just for being the Dodgers. Of course, if looking at this is a crazy stat here that I'm looking at. We got the Dodgers obviously first in payroll this upcoming season, Mets being in second. If you combine the total payroll of the Nationals and the Marlins, that's how much more the Dodgers are paying than the Mets this year.
And that's crazy because I was looking at last year the Marlins, A's, and Rays, who were the bottom three in payroll. Marlins was 67 million, A's was 73, and Rays were just under 80 million. The Marlins' entire payroll was $67 million last year, and the Dodgers are paying one guy 60 million a year. And I mean, it's
Yeah, two guys.
yeah, I mean, just for this off season though, I mean, you're getting Tucker for 60 a year, and that kind of makes me think of, should other teams try to step up and spend more? Because you have teams like the A's, Marlins, Rays, and certain other teams that, I don't know, they're not throwing their cards into the mix for some of these free agents. They're just, I feel like every season just kind of sitting back, and they'll do their job with bringing up prospects and development. But I don't know. Do you think something like a salary floor should be introduced or something? Making these other teams have to spend money to put some decent teams out there, and they're not just teams like the Marlins and the A's and the Rockies who are rebuilding every single year. What's your thoughts on that?
You know, it's not a bad idea, but it's really hard to implement something like that
I agree.
into a game like baseball where there's a few stars obviously that you can expect at this point to sign to the Dodgers. It's tough for those
Sure.
smaller market teams like Miami and St. Louis and Washington. It's tough for them to sign these stars because quite frankly they don't want to go there.
But like the thing is, these teams aren't even going for the mediocre free agents. They'll just pick up the guys on waivers, have a few of their decent pieces, some of their more maybe they're younger prospects who are starting to break out. They'll give them certain extensions, but 67 million? I mean, that's like two somewhat decent bats, and you're already, most of the way towards that 67. So I don't know. I feel like certain teams and franchises need to step up, not just for the sake of baseball, but also for their fans. I mean, I know if, the Braves didn't spend a single penny, that'd be frustrating, man.
Yeah, it's pretty much what they did last year. But
That's true.
like you're saying, man, it would be killer to be a fan of a team like the Marlins, dude. It seems like every single year they have a few guys break out, send them off, right? The next year, have a couple young guys break out, send them off.
Yep.
They never are signing big names. They never are signing decent names. I mean, look, the most they've done in the last few years is sign Tim Anderson, and look what that did for him.
I mean, he just got kind of punched in the face, and there went his career. But
Down goes Anderson, man.
down goes Anderson, down goes Anderson. But I don't know. It's certainly interesting. And the thing is, when you're not spending any money, you're not getting these pieces. There's no depth with these teams. I mean, think about when the Marlins lost Sandy Alcantara. Like there's nothing there. If players get hurt, you don't have anyone to fill that gap with. You're just using these weak, below average players who can step up. You don't even have any of these, utility type guys. Because, some of the best teams in baseball, you'll look at and they'll have a guy like Miguel Rojas on the bench who you might give a few $1 million to, but sometimes, if something goes down, heaven forbid someone goes down with injury or something happens, you have a decent player to replace him with. But that's also an issue that some of these smaller market teams have to deal with.
Yeah, this is what's one of the craziest things is when you look at the Dodgers team, man, they got so many guys that they would be some of the best players on other teams, and they're just sitting on the bench or not playing every game because they don't need to.
Yeah, they can platoon all sorts of guys. They can pretty much platoon Freddie Freeman and Kyle Tucker if they wanted to, or that, not that exact situation, but that idea where you have insane stars who are, you know, able to have that luxury of, either if you get hurt or if maybe if you're dealing with a minor injury, you can take a few days off to recover because the guys who are coming in to replace you aren't, the bottom of the barrel type of pieces. But yeah, so that's that, man.
So I got a question for you here, Josh.
Yes, sir.
Looking at this offseason, obviously not completely finished yet, still a couple big
Yep.
names left up on the market. My question is, which teams do you see bouncing back this next upcoming year? We might have had down years last season.
So I'm gonna start with a team that I don't know. You're high on this team, but out of a lot of teams that struggled last year, the Pirates are still gonna struggle. I don't know why you're so big on the Pirates. I mean, they got O'Neal Cruz, but that's about it. I don't see the Pirates doing anything again. I do see the Orioles kind of throwing doing something there in that AL East. I don't know. I see the Orioles being a pain next year, especially if they can just make one or two more moves. Maybe get a type of maybe a Lucas Giolito type of piece to really bolster that rotation. And I think I don't know that entire AL East is going to be certainly interesting to see how that goes down.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm really high. Not that the Red Sox had a down year last year. They actually had a pretty good year looking at what they were dealing with on offense. But I mean, I don't know. I just got this gut feeling, man. I'm really high on the Red Sox this year. I know people are gonna come back and clip this and say, man, this guy's an absolute idiot when they go have a losing record. But
Don't worry, I will.
man,
I will.
I'm really high on this Red Sox team,
Yeah,
man.
I agree. I mean that rotation is it's a solid rotation. I think it probably one of the I don't know it I don't know if you'd stack them better or worse than the Yankees rotation because again with Cole coming back that's still that's a hard rotation to beat but and there's to me not that much offense going on for the Sox but again a solid pitching staff in general with the rotation and again a great bullpen that at least was insane last year with Aroldis Chapman getting back to prime Aroldis Chapman.
Oh yeah, man. Dude, I'm telling you, these guys, they're throwing so hard nowadays, man. And especially some of the guys they'll be bringing in on foreign contracts, man, throwing crazy hard. But
It's
I think that leads us into we got the World Baseball Classic coming up.
it's crazy. You're talking about some of these more of these international pieces. I'll see like clips of these like kids that are like 14 years old throwing like 98, and it's like how in the world is that possible? But
Hmm.
it's wild. Those guys are crazy. That's why it's such a it's so important with the international draft class and stuff to bring those guys over and develop them because they are some of the most talented players in baseball.
Yeah, and a great stage where even the fans at home can see some of those guys that might go unnoticed otherwise. Is the World Baseball Classic coming up starting here soon? I mean, we're looking at these rosters. They're looking pretty stacked, especially Team USA, man. Good grief.
Team USA is so upset that they lost last time to Team Japan that this time they said, you know what, we are going to bring every single guy that we have. And I mean, this is going to be a fun WBC. This is, I think, I saw something. This is the first WBC where you have both both reigning MVPs and Cy Youngs, and three of
Yeah,
three of those guys are playing for Team USA. You got Aaron Judge, Skeens, and Tariq Skubal. I don't know, man. This United States team is, I don't know. They're coming back with a vengeance. I'm really interested to watch this WBC and see how some of these guys play because if they played how they should, I don't know. Team USA is going to be fun to watch. You're going to start seeing some football numbers with some of the numbers that the offense is going to produce. And again, with that rotation, you have guys like, again, we said Tariq Skubal, and they're bringing in Paul Skeens, the two Cy Young winners last season, the two best pitchers in all of baseball, all on one team. Then you have other guys like Joe
and
Ryan.
another guy. Yeah, Joe Ryan and guys like Logan Webb filling out that rotation, man. And then obviously we're kind of surprised to see Clayton Kershaw
Yeah.
coming in to round off that rotation. That was an
You
interesting
know what
move,
I
but
want to see? I want to
gotta
see.
respect the old
I
man.
want to see at some point maybe Team USA is playing someone like that. I don't know what the brackets and stuff are right now, but so playing maybe one of these more you know a little more under the radar nations as baseball goes. And maybe Team USA is having a solid game. They're going up by a good amount. Why not pinch hit Clayton Kershaw? He's retired. What's gonna happen, man? I want to see Clayton Kershaw go up there and try to hit again before he rides off into the sunset as his career is over, man. I don't know. I think that would be it'd be pretty funny to see Clayton Kershaw going up there to take a few hacks.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, looking at last WBC, we had a couple teams like what was it, like Czechia or something that had just mailmen
Yeah,
that have normal day jobs out there
that's
playing.
what's so fun with the WBC is because you'll hear of like these guys who are just they have different jobs. They're not necessarily they're not professional players, and to see them go up against some of these guys and even get some knocks and strike out some of these all-star level players, it's fun to see, man. All the
Yeah,
different
man, and
stories that
even
evolve from it too. It's fun.
yeah, we've even seen quite a few retired guys. Like one of our favorite players I know played in the last WBC for Netherlands. Didi Gregorius was over there.
TD, yes sir,
I mean, shout out to Didi, man. But
best nose in the
like
game,
like I'm saying,
biggest nose in the game.
oh for sure, a lot of young guys, a lot of old guys, a lot of guys that don't even play baseball just in their free time, you know?
And for those who are, might not know exactly what the WBC is, it's essentially the Olympics for baseball. I mean, it's your each nation bringing hopefully the best players that they have and tournament style. It's kind of like the World Cup but of baseball. So it's fun. I've only started watching it last year because it's something that I had no clue existed. And then to see this year that Team USA is going out bringing all their heavy hitters and all these other nations as well, like Team Japan. Again, the reigning WBC winners. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, man, looking at this Team USA offense, the catchers, we got Cal Raleigh, the big
Oh, the
dumper,
big dumper.
backed up by Will Smith. Oh my goodness, dude, crazy catchers there.
That's
And
probably,
we're moving
again,
on.
you got probably the best catcher in the American League with a top five catcher in the National League as your backup, man. This is, I don't know. I really want to see Team USA just put out like 30 runs on people because like their backups are not these no-name guys. Their backups are multiple time all-stars and silver sluggers that they have on their bench as like utility guys. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, looking at this infield, this is going to be a
Oh my
really
goodness.
interesting infield here. We've got Bobby Witt Jr., Gunnar Henderson, Bryce Terang, Bryce Harper, Ernie Clement, Alex Bregman, and Paul Goldschmidt coming back. Uh, man, uh, I'm interested to see how they set this up here. You got to think a guy like Alex Bregman's got to be playing third. What do you do with Gunnar and Bobby Witt?
That's the thing. I mean, Bobby Witt obviously will to me have to play shortstop. He's the best shortstop on the planet. But Gunn, or do you put him, or do you put Terang at second? Harper probably fitting in at the first base. But that's what I'm talking about. I mean, your backups are all-star. They're all-stars and they're MVP candidates and stuff. I mean, you have Bright. How many MVPs are on this team? How many awards are on Team USA? I mean, it's crazy. Just looking at it, you have just on this infield, Bryce Harper MVP, Paul Goldschmidt. Oof, remember him? MVP.
Hmm.
Bobby Witt, he's the top five MVP type of guy. Going into the outfield, Aaron Judge, MVPs. Going into Kyle Schwarber, one of the best designated hitters on the planet. So I'm really excited to see what Mark DeRosa does with this team. And my man Brian McCann. It's gonna be fun, man.
And then shifting over to Team Japan here, obviously
Hmm.
the other favorite to win it all here. I mean, I'm probably gonna butcher some of these names, but the main guys you got to be looking out for in the rotation, obviously, Yoshinobu
Yeah, that
Yamamoto.
rotation is
Gonna have oh yeah, Sagano, Yuki Matsui, obviously coming out of the bullpen. They got Yusei Kikuchi as well. A lot of guys like that. And then, of course, you're going to see some of these young guys that we've never even heard of coming out and shining here in the WBC.
and it's also fun to me like figuring out like the heritage of some of these players. Like, I never would have guessed that some of these guys are from where they are. I mean, even just looking through all sorts of different rosters and stuff. Like Jazz Chisholm Jr. Guess guess where he's from. Guess what team he's playing
You
for
know,
in the WBC.
looking at a guy like Jazz, I actually thought he was probably from one of these Central America, maybe like Bahamas or something.
Birthplace Bahamas, but he is playing for Team Britain. So it's always fun. It's these little different things because even like it depends on the nationality of your parents and stuff. You can choose different stuff. It's always fun to look at these different teams and even some like these different prospects who are playing for their nations and for their countries. It's really cool, man. It's really cool to see something like this. It's a little different and it gives us some more some baseball before the season starts.
And yeah, looking at even like the last WBC, we seen some crazy heritages that you would not expect. Man, we saw what Lars Nootbaar playing for Japan, Jock Peterson playing for Team Israel.
Yeah,
Like
it's
what?
it's certain guys that like I don't know you wouldn't necessarily know some of this, but I don't know. It's always fun, and it's always fun too seeing your team's players going out there representing different countries and getting some more some early intense playing because these guys are all going 100% trying to win you know the title for their country. So it's fun like Ronald Acuna Jr. playing for Team Venezuela. That's gonna be fun. Also, I just saw something amazing. I'm scrolling down these different rosters, right? We got Salvador Perez too here. Team Venezuela is actually going to be solid. Wilson Contreras, Luis Arias, Gleyber Torres.
Oh wow.
Look out for Venezuela. Churio, Abreu.
Oh my goodness, that's a good team.
I'm just looking through. And sorry, the thing I was gonna say, and Miggy as your hitting coach.
Oh.
Johan Santana as a pitching coach.
Oh my goodness, dude, this team is stacked.
And like
But
I believe for the Netherlands too, we got believe Aussie's playing for Team Netherlands. Chadwick Tromp, who will probably be the Braves backup to possibly begin the year. Um, and Didi again slotted in for Team Netherlands. So that's going to be fun. With Jurickson Profar too. So it's always fun to see your team's guys getting sort of like an extended spring training. So how in the world are they going to do against some of these top players and it's see how they are after the off season.
and yeah, man, like we were saying, there's also some teams in here that have guys that you've never even heard of. Like, let me read off a couple of these guys for Team Czechia here. We got starting at the starting pitcher, we got Filip Koliman. We got it looks like their starting catcher is Matus Bubinek.
Oh man,
Um, we're looking at Jan Pas. Is that even a dude? Um, but like some of these teams, you got guys you've never heard of coming up and leading these guys, and they'll sometimes get some wins. Even it's pretty crazy.
and it's fun. I'm certainly rooting for Team USA. I don't know about you, but I think my number two team has to be, excuse me, Team Netherlands. I mean, you have Ozzy Albies, Didi Gregorius, Chadwick Tromp, and then you also have guys like um Drew Jones, Sedane Rafaela, and then the manager being Andrew Jones himself. So I don't know. I might have to root for the Netherlands. And you got Kenley Jansen in the bullpen too. So I don't know. That's gonna be another, I'll go for USA and maybe root for the Netherlands a little bit too.
Yeah, I'm loving this, man. We got some. I mean, looking at this team, we got Jerks and Profar rocking the Pit Vipers in the profile picture here. We got, I don't know who this guy is, but Ray Patrick Ditter. That's kind of close to an interesting name there. But this is, like I said, you got a lot of guys on these teams that you wouldn't expect.
Sedane
Didi coming
Rafaela
out of
and Didi on the
retirement.
same team. Sedane
All right,
Rafaela,
like
Didi, Ozzy. Oh my goodness. I want to
it
see a
doesn't get
Didi and
better.
I want to see a Didi and Ozzy double play. I think Xander Bogaerts. I want to see Xander Bogaerts flipping it to Ozzy and then Ozzy chucking it over to Didi across the infield for a nice double play. I mean, I'm just saying. I can't wait to see that. So that's some of the type of stuff you get from the WBC. We'll continue to give updates on that as the weeks go by. Still a few weeks out. Seeing exactly when we start. Do you know when the kickoff for the WBC is?
I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head, but we'll definitely keep you guys updated
March
here.
5th, starting on March 5th to March 17th.
All right, so throughout this podcast, we're gonna try and do each episode. I'm gonna prepare a game, and Josh is gonna prepare a game or type of challenge or something. So for mine, this time I'm gonna have one that is just a challenge for Josh, and I believe he
Okay.
has one that's challenge for both of us, and their comments gets to decide the winner in these challenges, so that's fun. But my challenge for you, Josh, I have two players' careers pulled up on Baseball Reference, and I have one
All right.
offensive challenge and one defense or one pitching challenge.
Okay.
I'm gonna read you off these guys' career stats, and you can take notes or whatever, but I want you to choose which player you'd rather have on your team.
Okay. Okay.
All right?
All right. Let's jump into it.
All right, we're gonna start off with the pitchers here.
Okay.
Player number one has pitched 364 career games.
Okay.
He
Okay. Are
started
are they starters?
340
Are
of
they
them.
starters? Okay.
Well, this guy started 340 out of the 364,
Okay.
so kind of,
I'm mostly
he's
starters.
pitched 2,000 innings, so mainly a
Okay.
starter here for sure. Uh, this guy, he has a 143 and 99 record throughout his career.
Pretty solid record.
He has one save, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep. Career 3.74 ERA, which is a 111 ERA plus.
Okay.
This guy has 2,015 strikeouts in his career. Strikeout
Oh, okay.
percentage is 23.7. Walk percentage is 8.3.
Okay.
This man has 30 career WAR on the dot. 30 career WAR.
Okay. Yeah. It's a solid career. Not like Hall of Fame or anything, but that's a solid career.
Now, player number two, and I'll give you both of their stats so you don't have to try and remember it. But
Okay. Thank you.
we got player number two has pitched 278 games to player one 364.
Okay. So a lot less.
Player
About
two
100.
270 starts to 340 for player one,
So
which
about a
converts
few
to
seasons off.
1700 innings to 2000 innings. So only 300 innings off
Okay.
there.
Yeah. So okay, only about a season and a half then
The win-loss
difference.
record here, 110 and 89 for player number two, which was
Solid.
143 and 99 for player number one.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, he also has one save, surprisingly. Um,
Hmm.
both of these guys have a 3.74 ERA. Both guys.
Oh wow. Exact
But
same.
interesting, yeah, exact same. But interestingly enough, player one's ERA plus was 111, where player two is 104. So I'm not entirely sure how that works, but um,
They must have
strikeout
played in
numbers.
different time periods.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Player one had 2,015 strikeouts, where player two has 1,736 strikeouts, with a 24.4 K percentage to player one's 23.7. So they're about the same
Okay.
there.
A little higher on the
And
second guy.
yep. And the second guy also has a 9.4 walk percentage to player one's 8.3. So more walks for this guy.
So more, a little higher strikeout rate, a little higher walk rate.
Player two's career WAR is 19.5 to the 30 for player one.
So from what it's sounding like, second guy's played a little less than the first guy. Like I said, slightly higher strikeout, but he does walk a few guys more. That's a big, almost 10 WAR off is a pretty big difference though. So I
But
think
of
I have to
course,
go. Oh,
there's
there's
another
more.
segment, there's another portion that you need to take into consideration. That is
Oh,
their
okay.
lifetime
There's more.
achievements.
Ah, yes, yes. Maybe something
This
weird like some
could be
gold
the
gloves or
difference
something.
maker here. This
Okay.
could be the difference maker.
Let's
All
hear it.
right.
Let's hear it.
Player one, this is the guy with 30 WAR.
Yep.
He's won one championship
Okay.
and he's made two All-Star appearances.
Only a two-time All-Star.
All right.
Sounds like a decent career
Now,
for just a two-time All-Star.
yeah, but player number two here. All right. Three championships, four All-Star appearances, and get this, two Cy Young awards.
I don't know. It sounds like whoever this guy is, he had a really high peak and then just like woo, right off the face of the earth. I don't know. I'd still rather go with the first guy just because it sounds like a little bit more consistency, a little more longevity as well. So I'd go with the first guy.
All right. The second guy was Tim Lincecum.
Tim Lincecum. I was kind of thinking that. That sounds very Lincecum.
The first guy, Lance Lynn.
Lance Lynn.
You just took Lance Lynn over Tim Lincecum. How do you feel about your decision?
I don't know. That's an interesting pick. I mean, Lynn, a solid career, but Lincecum is tough because he had such a good peak and then just never got back because of injuries and stuff. So I don't know. That one was a tough one. I'll take it, I guess, but I don't know. It depends on like, if you're getting the guys in their prime, you want to go with Lincecum. But if you have the guy for their entire career, I think you want to go with Lynn. He's a consistent, four man in the rotation every year, 3, 4 man.
Yeah,
Lincecum, he's a one for a while, but kind of fell off.
yeah, I found it interesting, man. I picked these two guys just randomly. I'm not really sure why they both came into my head, but I compared them up and I said, whoa, they have the exact
Lincecum and
same
Lynn.
ERA.
That is weird. That is really weird.
Yeah. All right, but as promised, I also have an offensive one. This is a
Let's hear it.
this is an interesting one here. Now on to the batters here. We got two guys for you to compare. I'm just gonna read them off both at the same time here this time.
Are they both the same position?
Uh, nope. I'm just gonna
Okay.
say no.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna go with here. So we're gonna start off with the career games for these two guys. Player
Okay.
one, 1434. Player two, 2057 career game.
Oh wow. This guy had a nice
Uh,
long
yeah,
career.
long career for sure. Um, Obviously he had 2,200 more plate appearances, naturally.
Mm.
Interestingly enough, though, looking at hits, player one had 1,750, player two had 1,800.
Wow. What's this first guy like? Luis Arias or something?
No, definitely not Luis Arias. Looking at the home run total, first guy
Oh.
had 229 home runs.
Okay.
The second guy is 344.
Ooh. Second guy can
So,
bop a little bit.
yeah, RBI numbers. This is where it gets really interesting. First
Hmm.
guy 936, second guy 937.
Wow. First guy must have been on a much better team. They're only nine. Hmm. This is weird. This one's tough.
Yeah, we'll get down to these lower stats. It might differentiate itself a little bit here.
Okay. Okay.
We got our first guy 95 stolen bases, second guy with 153.
Hmm. So again,
Now,
similar if you
yeah,
get to.
batting average. First guy, you could assume is probably going to be a good bit higher. 313 batting average,
Mm.
but his on base is only 361 to the 313 batting average. And
Okay.
then second guy with
313
a
career average.
yeah, second guy career 250 average. His on base though 337. So he's about 20 points behind in on base, but 60 points
Hmm.
behind in average.
Yeah.
Um, Looking at their slugging. Now this is interesting. Second guy we thought could rake a little bit more. First guy with a 521 slug, second guy 465.
Wow.
First
First guy
guy's
can
career,
bat a little bit. Wow.
yeah, first guy's career OPS 882, second guy 803. And then
Okay.
OPS plus we got 124 to 113. Their career wars come out to 44.3 for the first guy. And for
Okay.
the second guy, 47.5.
From all the stuff you telling me, I mean, offensively, it's not close. The first guy, I'd certainly take the first guy. Even without
So
hearing the awards and accomplishments, I'd still, I don't know. The first guy can just, a three, what'd you say, 313 average?
yeah,
For that to be your, what, since 1700 game, oh my, that's crazy. That's almost Hall of Fame level, uh, performance. So I don't know.
and
I'd go with the
the
first guy.
awards are there too for him as well. He had one
Oh,
championship to the other guy's zero, six All-Star appearances to the other guy's three. This guy
mm,
had two batting titles to the other guy's zero, which makes sense. Silver Slugger, they each had one.
okay.
Any guesses on who these guys are, by the way?
Hmm. High average, decent pop too. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I just know I'd rather have the first guy. The first guy just seems like a very well-rounded hitter. Second guy is all right. He had a decent career, but he's not whoever this first guy is.
The second guy is Curtis Granderson.
Oh wow, Curtis Anderson.
Yeah,
Okay.
Curtis Granderson
Huh.
facing
That makes
off
sense.
against your player, Nomar Garcia Parra.
Not Nomar Garcia Parra.
Your
One of my
player
favorite things
is
about him. My
Nomar.
man's name was Roman. Bro named his son his entire name just backwards.
True that.
So
Nomar
that was
Garcia Parra.
tough. I think I'd take Nomar. I think knowing who they are, like the other one with Lynn and Lincecum, I don't know. That one was very confusing. But this one, I think I don't know. Yeah, I think I'd go with Nomar.
That was the wonky JJ game for this episode. Josh will have one coming up a little bit later, which is a pretty interesting game, I've heard. Done a little research into it. But
Yeah, we'll
yeah,
see. Hopefully, we'll see. That one will be fun. That one will be fun.
yes, sir. So now it's time for part of the show where we talk about football, and boy, do we have quite a big event coming up.
The best time to watch commercials ever.
Super Bowl 60, baby.
Oh, my bad.
Super
My
Bowl
bad.
Sunday. Here we go.
I can't believe I
We're
mixed those up.
excited. Yeah, it's very easy to get those mixed up. We got the Patriots led by Drake May. We got the Seahawks led by Sam Darnold
I'm
of
sorry,
all
but I
people.
think
Can you believe that?
you messed something up, man. It's Drake May. My man, oof, he's had a season.
Drake May. How about the kid, man? And we're gonna give a little summary of the season. A couple things I'd like to point out here. Some surprising things, maybe some things not so surprising. But let's get started off with the AFC. On top, we had the Denver Broncos on top for the regular season,
Would never have
led
guessed
by
that.
Bo Nix. Right, right. We got the Broncos on top. Extremely good defense. Offense, not so much,
It's true.
but really a surprising team to see 14-3, tied with the New England Patriots, led by Drake May.
There you go.
I don't know how they're that good. I don't understand how they're that good. I get they have Drake May. They have Diggs and Booty as their two top receivers, dude.
But again, they're
We got Hunter Henry.
I mean that offense is solid with the Patriots, and they have a solid defense as well. And I think just the Patriots, they're just might not necessarily have the best players on paper, but I don't know, they just well coached team that finds ways to win. A solid run game as well with Stevenson and Henderson, but I just think that they find ways to win. They're a well coached team. But again, I see what you're saying. It's not necessarily the most powerhouse team in the NFL this season.
Obviously, we saw Mike Vrabel, their head coach, win Coach of the Year this year.
Oh,
Not surprising to see at all. Great coach, great leader. We've seen clips of him all these last 2 weeks leading this team, inspiring them, and they made it to the Super Bowl, so that also helps.
Tom Brady was gone for a
Uh,
little bit, but now you got Drake May to replace him, and it's been wild to
they're
watch.
inevitable. The Patriots are inevitable. All right,
It's
we
true.
got coming third in the AFC, Jacksonville Jaguars, led
That was
by
kind of
Trevor
wild to
Lawrence.
me. I don't know if I would have ever said the Jaguars. Patriots. I mean, the Patriots have been so good and they've been so bad for a while. You could make a guess that they'd bounce back, but the Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence, the surfer looking man, and Duval just getting stuff done. It's interesting.
Duval. Very unexpected to see them in the three spot. 13-4 is their regular season record there.
Mm.
Granted, they're not in the best division. They play the Titans twice a year. Fair.
But I mean,
We saw the Steelers coming fourth.
they played a great game against the Bills, so they're not a random, just squeaking in team. I mean, they were solid. They were a solid team.
Yeah, Jag, very solid team this year. Excited to see what they got coming up next year. Obviously eliminated in the playoffs.
And without Travis Hunter after
Um,
he got hurt too, so it's kind of they're playing
yeah,
without a big piece. Their big first round pick, so it's there's another piece that they were without. They were without arguably one of their best players.
we saw the Steelers coming fourth in the AFC. Now, I really dislike this rule where the the division winners come top four in the playoffs, right? I don't like how they do that seeding. You got a team 10-7 ranked higher than two 12-5 teams and an 11-6 team. Steelers, obviously, Mike Tomlin, their coach. Gonna have a winning record, gonna make the playoffs, gonna lose in the first round of the playoffs. That's why he no longer works there.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, with
Good.
Rogers coming back, I'm with Rogers playing for him this year. I mean, had a decent season, but I don't know. When's the last time that they've had a younger new quarterback who has good signs of upside? I mean,
See, that's the key right there. Good sides of upside. They've had young quarterbacks.
yeah, yeah, they've tried.
They brought in Mitch Trubisky. They got Kenny Pickett. He's got tiny hands as well, I believe. But
They're good at
you
getting
know,
the
they
career backup quarterbacks.
exactly.
And then
We saw Texans, Bills, Chargers rounding out the playoffs in the AFC.
and that's really unfortunate to see what happened to the Bills because I don't know. That's a big debate. Was that a catch? Was it not? And to see, the emotions after that game, because you're not playing the Chiefs, and I don't know. It's tough. It's really tough to see the Bills lose that game. And I was kind of rooting for Josh Allen to, hopefully finally get to a Super Bowl without, one of these, great quarterbacks like Lamar or Joe Burrow too, with out of the playoffs. No Patrick Mahomes, so it was really tough to see them lose the way that they did. But it's how it happened.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Some surprising teams we saw miss the playoffs in the AFC. The Chiefs, 6-11. Same for the Bengals, 6-11. The Dolphins finished with better records than both of those teams.
That's crazy.
That's incredible. We also saw the Ravens miss the playoffs at 8-9.
Very,
All three of those teams with losing records.
but to be fair, a lot of injuries and stuff, and that'll happen with. And, Lamar didn't play great when healthy either, but especially with the Bengals, they started to get going with Joe Burrow back. But again, you can't. There's only so much you can deal with injury. Mahomes going down with injury, but even then, they were just not looking great. And it's kind of like last season, they won all these crazy, like 1-score games, really lucky. And
Yeah,
this season, they just didn't have the luck with them.
it's true. It's very
And
true.
without
We
Rasheed
saw a
Rice
very
too,
weird,
for a
yeah,
good,
first like 6, 7 games. Yeah, not 6, 7, but genuinely.
yeah.
Uh, the AFC very weird this year. NFC, you could almost argue was weirder, which is crazy to say with the Chiefs having a 6-11 record. But looking at the NFC, we were not expecting. I don't think anybody was expecting the Seahawks to be on top, especially with how dominant they were, 14-3.
They were, I don't know, watching them throughout the season, they were clearly like, hey man, this is a Super Bowl team. Their defense so good, their offense amazing. They have some great pieces with Walker, JSN, Darnold, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit later. But I mean, they just had a year, man.
Yeah, and then coming in second, we had another surprising team out of the NFC North, the Chicago Bears,
I know you love that,
coming
man.
in second place. Yeah, honestly, I hate that actually, but it's all right. Caleb Williams, solid year from the guy. Good defense on that team. Just they need a couple pieces on the offensive line. We saw Joe Tooney win Protector of the Year, so
Protector
that's a
of the
good
year.
step for them. That is Protector of the Year. Yes, the best offensive lineman in the league was Joe Tooney this year for the Bears. The Bears. Coming in third place, we had the Eagles. Obviously, they're inevitable.
I mean, again,
It's
with
gonna
that
happen.
defense, with half that defense being from that dominant Bulldogs run. But yeah, their offense took a bunch of steps back. Saquon just wasn't quite Saquon. Brown didn't have a great season. Hurts just, I don't know. It's just that offense just didn't look quite like it did when they, with the team that went on and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, good bit of controversy this year as well with that offense. We might see a completely different team next year. AJ Brown clearly wants out. Jalen Hurts seems to be a little toxic of a team captain. So they got a bit of locker room issues they need to deal with in this offseason
Yeah,
here.
it's crazy. You have
But
some great receivers with Brown and Smith, and you have Saquon, but I don't know. I don't know how you don't, do too much with that.
yeah, well, they'll have time to deal with that in Cancun. Coming fourth, we had the the Carolina Panthers with a crazy end to the NFC South season, with the Saints, Bucks, and Panthers all tying with the same record, or the Falcons, excuse me, not the Saints, but
Mm.
um, crazy ending there. Panthers come out on top and almost put it to the Rams there in the first round of the playoffs.
I think the Panthers have something, man. I'm a fan of Bryce Young. He's a solid quarterback. I was just hearing him on the radio the other day, and they were talking, he's the first quarterback in a while to just literally go around and introduce himself and shake everyone's hand there at the place. Even like some of the engineers and stuff who were kind of like, man, what's going on? But even that run game where you have Rico and that, I don't know, it's a fun team.
Obviously, Rico is a free agent this year. Maybe they'll re-sign him. Maybe he'll go elsewhere. He could be a starting running back. He's proven that. We'll see what happens with that situation. But coming in the 5, 6, 7 spots, we got Rams, Niners, and the Packers rounding us out here. Packers bad season from them, but Rams and Niners both at 12 and 5.
Man, Matthew Stafford, what a season with the MVP. And again, he's got to root for him as a all time great Bulldogs quarterback. Well, I was hoping he'd go out and get another ring, but we'll see if he comes back next year and what he does. And Puka, another great season from him. And again, that's just a great offense. It's hard to beat that Rams offense.
Yeah, man, and don't get me started on their defense as well. A lot of young, talented guys on that defense, dude. Incredible. Uh, Believe it or not, this might be a shock to you here, Josh, and to the viewers as well, but
Okay.
the first team that missed the playoffs in the NFC was the Minnesota Vikings, coming in at 9 and 8. Ended up with a winning record. Very surprising. They were 4 and 8 at one point. Ended out on a 5-game win streak. I'm a Vikings fan. I'm gonna glaze them. Surprising misses of the playoffs this year. And we had the Lions miss out.
Yeah,
The
that's a
Cowboys
team
miss
that
out.
the Lions were a team that like you saw them all at the Pro Bowl, and you have that amazing run duo with Gibbs and Montgomery, and you have St. Brown and Goff, a solid quarterback as well. But for them to not make the playoffs, I don't know, it's kind of weird for me. Uh,
And a team that we all predicted were going to do really good this year at the start of the season was the Washington Commanders. I mean, they had Jaden Daniels go down for a bit. That really tough injuries there, obviously, but to finish out 5 and 12, I'd be scared next year with their early first round draft pick coming up and a healthy team.
and
Scary team for
as
next
long
year.
as Daniel's arm doesn't just go the other direction, we'll see how Daniels does. That was certainly one of the most gruesome injuries, but he bounced back from it though.
Ah, yes, he did. So that leads us into my question for you here, Josh.
Okay.
We talked a bit about these young second year quarterbacks out of the 2024 QB class. I'm interested to see where you're ranking these guys. We have Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Michael Penix Jr., and JJ McCarthy. Now let me hear what order would you rank these guys, and then I'll go ahead and have my comments after.
So I know you're gonna hate me, but I'm sorry. Nine has to be the last on this list. He wasn't all that great. I mean, just look at Justin Jefferson. He put up like his worst season with 9. And again, to be fair, JJ also didn't play last season either. So that's another reason why he's gonna be last on this list. But I need to bring up something because you know on Pro Football Reference how you pull up a player's stats and you can see a comparison.
Yeah.
The two players on JJ McCarthy's for player comps are Tom Brady and Drew Brees. So I don't know if
Oh my
I don't know if
goodness.
I fully agree about that, but yeah, I'd put JJ at my uh at the bottom spot. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say I have to agree with you here. Putting JJ McCarthy in the sixth spot for this draft class, not very good so far.
and again, I'm not the best expert on all this, but I'd probably put Michael Penix at at the next spot. I mean, he wasn't great, but to be fair, all you gotta do is just give that ball to Bijan and let that man go. But again, some injury stuff there, but Penix not something too crazy. But still, I don't know. I'd probably rather have him than McCarthy.
Yeah, yeah, man. I think definitely these bottom two guys are definitely not in the same tier as the next four. I
I
also
agree.
have Michael Penix sitting in there at the 5 spot. These next four guys, man, even just in their second year, incredible athletes. I'm interested to see who you got in the 4 spot here.
These four guys are very tough to rank because I feel like some of them had a rougher first year and a really dominant second year, or the opposite, had a really great first year and not as great in the second year. And that's my three spot here with Jaden Daniels. Great first year, but second year just kind of riddled with injuries. So it's kind of, not sure exactly where to put him because again of all the injuries and whatnot. But I'd still way prefer him over the other two, and I definitely see him behind the next three that we have coming up. I'd certainly rather have those guys who could almost be franchise type guys over someone like Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, and the thing you have to look out for Jaden Daniels, uh I got him compared with Caleb Williams on here. He's played 10 less games, but somehow Jaden Daniels through 24 games has 1,100 rush yards, 1169 with the rushing yards. Obviously, I'm also going to put him in this 4 spot just because he hasn't had a full second season quite yet. But if he can put up the performance he had in his rookie year next year, we might be having a different
Yeah,
conversation
I think he
this
could. I
time
think he
next
could
year.
bounce back. We'll see about that. But at my three spot, and this is tough. These next three are really tough to evaluate. But I'm gonna go with Caleb Williams at my three spot. I want to hear who you have at your three spots. It's still I don't know. It's an interesting pick because Williams had such a great year and he looks so good. I mean, how many highlight reels could you make of Caleb Williams just running everywhere and making just insane throws? And I think he has a really high upside, but still out of everyone, I think I'd put him in the three spot.
You know, this could very well be recency bias, but and like you just said, the highlight reel plays we see out of Caleb Williams. No, he's looking at these last three guys. We have Drake May with 6,600 pass yards, Bo Nix with 7,700, Caleb Williams sitting at 7,400. So looking at that, this might be a surprising pick if you're looking at that stat. My third player is going to be Bo Nix.
Okay.
I know, surprising. Bo Nix leads that insane Denver offense. Great Denver offense. Great quarterback. Again, this is no shame on him. I'd still say he's the top 10 quarterback in this league right now. But Bo Nix is going to be my third quarterback here
I put
on
I have
this
I have
list.
Bo at my two spot. I think Bo is just solid. I don't know, he's a young quarterback, but again, these young dudes are looking like veterans out there just leading offenses and going crazy. And I think if Bo Nix didn't get hurt, I don't know. I think you have Denver going against Seattle in the Super Bowl. But I don't know. I think Bo Nix has done a good job. He's put up solid numbers, but we'll see how he continues to develop as a player himself.
And yeah, I agree with you there. Bo Nix, again, great quarterback. Uh, just just looking at the value to these teams, him and Caleb Williams very similar. Putting Caleb Williams in my 2 spot. He's such a playmaker. He's able to run with the ball, very mobile guy, crazy, able to get those crazy escapes out of the
Um,
pocket when he's pretty much stacked,
kind of
running all over the place like you mentioned. It's just crazy to see him do all that with the terrible O line
He
that he's
kind of
had.
reminds me a
Only
little bit of
thrown,
maybe like a Brock Purdy. I don't know why. He's that's just the similar type of player that he is.
yeah. Now, this was a stat that was surprising to me, okay?
Yep.
Obviously, Caleb Williams and Bo Nix, the only two quarterbacks here to play both full seasons for their first 2 years. Um, Looking at this, Caleb Williams has only thrown 13 interceptions through 2 full
I
seasons.
was looking at that, yeah.
13 interceptions. That is incredible. Looking at Bo Nix and Drake May, I mean, Bo Nix has thrown 23 picks. Drake May obviously missed a few games, but he's thrown 18 interceptions. Caleb Williams, a lot of people hate on him. He's an accurate passer. He doesn't turn the ball over except for fumbles, but technically his O line is
It's true.
atrocious. So I feel like you give him a O line. Bears are a scary team. Caleb Williams is a scary quarterback,
And I bet all
and we're
that's
moving on to our
I bet
MVP.
that's all fun to you saying as a Vikings fan too, looking at the Bears for the next few years, man.
Don't get me started on them, man.
Number
Don't
one,
get me started.
Drake May. I mean, he was second for MVP voting. Who honestly, he very well could have been MVP if someone just didn't vote for Herbert. So I mean, he had a 72% completion rate. He just had such a great season. But I mean, he's
Yeah,
led
I
led
mean,
the Patriots to a Super Bowl for a reason. Without Drake May, they're not going to the Super Bowl. He's had such a great year. Yeah, he's my number one pick out of that 2024 draft class.
really not even a competition here. Drake May, obviously, the second season, extremely dominant. He was the number one quarterback other than Matthew Stafford, of course, and even they were very close on a lot of
Yeah, it's really
stats.
close.
I mean, this guy in his second year leading this Patriots offense with an old receiver in Stephon Diggs, a veteran, and a bunch of young guys, Kayshon Boutte, right? Guys like that. It, he's making a Super Bowl team, a 14-3 team out of this, which Bo Nix did as well, but he's got better. I would argue he's got better targets there with Cortland Sutton and deep threats like Marvin Mims.
Yeah.
But Drake May, dude, Drake May,
And then
an absolute beast.
and his wife too, making all that. You see him praising
Good
her for
pastries, good
all the
pastries out of
pastries
the
and
lady.
stuff, and giving all that to the O
Mm.
line. So it's another
Yeah,
thing to
I
root
heard
for
an
with Drake May.
interesting thing. Apparently that O line over at the Patriots, they have a thing going on between them. I just heard this yesterday. They have a thing where anytime an O lineman's name is mentioned in a team
I
meeting
heard this
for a
too.
mistake, they owe
I
money
heard this too.
that goes to a O lineman trip at the end of the season. So I believe what they did was they actually told Coach Vrabel about this, and he went in and made up a whole bunch of fake mistakes that Will Campbell made. So he put a whole bunch. I think it cost him $1,100 just that little prank there, but pretty wild stuff over there. And I think that every team's O line should
Yeah.
implement something like that. It's a good incentive.
But talking about the Patriots and Drake May, that leads us to the Super Bowl, man. And with the Super Bowl, you got Drake May going against Sam Darnold on the other side. And man, Sam Darnold, what a year after being, let go by the Vikings. But as a Vikings fan, man, how do you feel about seeing Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl and seeing
Man,
how well he's done? And now you're just kind of stuck with nine as the result of everything.
it really is mixed emotions for me as a Vikings fan here. You know, you hate to see him leave. You hate to see him leave. We saw him last year go 14-3. We saw him this year go 14-3. Obviously, he didn't look very good at the end of last year when it mattered in the playoffs and then those last games of the season. I think that's what the management saw for Minnesota when they let him go.
And you had
If I was management, oh,
you had this young prospect in JJ McCarthy. We'll see how he develops. It's his first year. That was kind of my worry is you let a guy go who's really that's his rookie year. He got hurt and he's trying to now not only rehab but also adjust to the NFL. But you let Sam Darnold go and he's been playing great, man.
yeah, and just to make it even worse, we saw at least the first half of the season when he was healthy, Daniel Jones even lead the Colts. They were looking great at the first half of the year until he got hurt, and then obviously they brought in the old man Philip Rivers and Riley Leonard there to close the season out. But to let both of those guys walk in one season, it really hurts to see. It really hurts, but I gotta be happy for Sam Darnold, man, on the new team,
And then I need to mention
seeing
one more
success.
thing until we get to our Super Bowl outlook and stuff. I just need to mention this. The Browns had two Pro Bowl quarterbacks in Joe Flacco and Shador Sanders. How in the world does that happen?
That is true. It is true. Shador Sanders
And they had the best defensive player in the entire league, and yet they're still the Browns.
and also the defensive rookie of the year on top of that, and Carson Schwarzenegger. Like, what is happening over there in Cleveland,
Yeah,
dude?
man, two technically Pro Bowl quarterbacks, but
On the same team. That's got to be the first time in NFL history, right?
I don't know. That's I don't know. That's a little interesting. Shador somehow getting in there. That just kind of shows the really the importance of the Pro Bowl now. It's just kind of you let Flacco and Shador in, but you don't let Trevor Lawrence into the Pro Bowl. I don't know. That just kind of
Oh
says
my
something.
gosh, dude. Trevor Lawrence putting up 4,300 something yards and not making the Pro Bowl over Shador. Come on.
He
Come
should
on now.
they should
What are we
dird
doing?
themselves, man. The Pro Bowl should dird themselves.
They did. They did. It's incredible what they've done there with the Pro Bowl event. But, you know, talking about the Super Bowl outlook, let's put it blankly. Who do you got winning, Josh?
I got the Seahawks. I mean, the Seahawks just their defense is unstoppable. Special teams is great. Offense is great. I mean, really, they have no issues with that roster. I mean, unless some crazy injury goes down and Sam Darnold gets hurt or something wild happens, I don't know. I see the Seahawks win. I think it can be a close game. I think it'll be a close game for a while, but I feel like late in the game the Seahawks will just show that they're the much better team.
Man, you gotta give it to the Seahawks, man. I mean, unstoppable defense, like you said, unstoppable offense. It's incredible what they got going there. Even their special teams, their kicker and
Yeah,
their punter, both the best in the league. Incredible.
and you have Shaheed who
Uh,
can be a problem too, returning.
Rashid Shaheed, yeah, we saw that in the Niners game, which, by the way, that is something to look out for. This game being played in the Niners Stadium, obviously on the West Coast, but you got a lot of Niners fans going to be at the game. Obviously, they are not feeling the greatest towards the Seahawks right now. We'll see what happens there, but
They like all
you got to
gang
give it
up
to
and
the Seahawks
start
there.
attacking Sam Darnold before he can get into the stadium.
Yeah, who knows, man? But yeah, looking forward to that. It's going to be good. We're going to have some good commercials. Halftime show, Bad Bunny. I mean, I see what they're trying to do here, getting the international audience involved, but Bad Bunny? Come on, man.
I don't know. It's definitely interesting. I don't know. I feel like the last few years the halftime show hasn't really you just kind of that's a time where you just refill on snacks. Let's be honest. So it's nothing too
Yeah, man,
crazy
go
there.
get you some snacks, which I believe we might be talking about a little later,
Oh
but
yeah, we'll get into that a
I
little
have a
bit.
couple ultra specific predictions here
Okay,
for
okay.
the Super Bowl.
Yep, let's hear
All
it.
right. First of all, number one, there will be a person on the Seahawks that's going to score a touchdown by the
Oh,
name of Jake Bobo.
okay.
Jake Bobo will have a touchdown in this Super Bowl 60 matchup, which, and this is an interesting prediction as well.
Yep,
Super Bowl MVP typically going to a quarterback or a guy on defense that makes a big play.
yep.
Nah, bro. JSN.
Okay, okay.
JSN.
Think JSN.
Don't let Drewski say it, but JSN.
Oh
JSN.
man, that's how you get it. Just JSN. Yeah, it's not that difficult. But how many yards do you think JSN
Mm.
might put up there? If you think he's gonna win MVP, how much?
JSN, here's
Yeah.
his stats. Watch this. I got the script right here,
Okay.
actually.
Okay. Cool.
JSN, it says here 11 catches for 135 yards and a touchdown.
Okay. Now
That's
again
it.
I also think that the Seahawks will win, but I don't know. I see a guy who's been really down. Kenneth Walker, man, he has had a great playoff. He's had a great playoff run. I don't know. I see him running it in for he breaks away for at least a 50-yard rushing touchdown and maybe runs for close to that 150 yard mark. And I don't know. I see Walker doing something.
There's there's just so many guys on this Seahawks offense you gotta watch out for, right? You got obviously JSN.
Yeah,
You got Cooper Kupp, who just won the
Cooper Cup.
Triple Crown, what, 4 years ago? We got um you got Rashid Shaheed, absolute beast, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, like you were saying, and you know, obviously Charbonnet injured
Mm-hmm.
for the Super Bowl here, but
That honestly,
another
he's been
guy.
hurt, but that's more for Walker, and Walker's had more opportunities, and he's showing that he's the running back one for a reason.
And another sneaky guy you gotta watch out for. This guy, you'd be surprised to see his touchdown numbers this year. AJ Barner, their tight end, young tight end. AJ Barner, man, watch out for him. He's coming. Seahawks are winning the Super Bowl. Michael Dixon's gonna drop a punt at the 1 yard line some point in this game.
Okay.
It's gonna happen,
But
right?
I have to say though, my man Booty's catching a touchdown. I think we both can agree on that. Booty's gonna have a game. He's gonna be the number one receiver for New England, but it's just not gonna happen. I think it'll be close
Yeah,
until maybe it'll be a back and forth game until maybe late third quarter, early fourth, and that's where I think the Seahawks will step up and you know take the lead by possibly a few scores even.
I gotta agree with you there. And their defense so dominant, like we were saying. It's it's gonna be a Seahawks win for the Super Bowl.
I don't know though. Did you see the videos of them testing out the fireworks? It was all Patriots colors, man. Nothing in there for the Seahawks.
It's true. Totally not for the national anthem, but
Nah, nah.
yeah, pretty wild.
Are you one of those people who like
Anyway,
bets on the national anthem, how long it's gonna be or whatnot?
well, considering I am not of the legal age to bet on anything sports related, I do not bet on the national anthem. However, yeah, it's an interesting concept.
Like how long it's gonna be. I've seen some stuff like
Yeah,
that. I don't know. People bet on the dumbest stuff.
2 minutes. I wonder what the line is this year. Actually, let me look that up real quick.
It's always the dumbest stuff, like how many streakers you'll have, and they'll bet on like every little thing that goes on in the Super Bowl. It's so dumb, but it's kind of funny to see some of these, just the absurdity of some of these bets.
All right, so I'm looking at the previous few Super Bowls here. It looks like the betting line is usually around a minute 45.
Okay,
Um, it looks like Charlie Puth, who we actually played in Rocket League
we did play against
last
him in
night,
Rocket League. That is true.
he might be singing the national anthem here, and it looks like the line is 119.5 seconds.
Okay,
So we're looking at either over, which will put him at 2 minutes, or under, which is it's going to be a close one. I think
I'll
he's
take the
a
under. I'll take the
flamboyant
under.
guy.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
go
why.
over. He's a
Okay.
flamboyant guy. He's gonna hold some notes out, dude.
I don't know. I think he's gonna get through it as fast as he can, so then he can hop back on some Rocket League because he wasn't too amazing when we were playing.
It's true. Yeah, he's actually pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right, now it's time for.
Time forward.
9 Innings Academy.
Oh man, it's so great to have Biggins on those little intros, man. That's one of my favorite things.
I like that one a lot, actually. Innings Academy. That's incredible, dude.
Literally, as soon as we said that, he just put something in our 9 innings Discord. Man, the timing of that, man.
Man, it's incredible.
No, if you don't know, 9 innings this game we've been playing for a while. It's a mobile baseball game. Jordan, how long have we been playing 9 innings, man?
Well, I had an account. Apparently, we both had an account when we were like 10, but then we quit the game for a while. Came back when we were around like probably 13, 14. So probably we've been playing on and off for 4 years, but pretty steadily here the last 3 years.
Yeah, I've been playing like it's almost like a routine at this point. I almost said chore, but it's not a chore. I enjoy doing it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
almost like a routine, man. I'll do all my stuff every day, and it's nice. It's easy. You just you don't have to actively be playing it all the time. You can just have your phone up or tablet or computer or whatnot, and just have it simming through the games and the seasons, so you can get your rewards, make your team better. Oh man, it's just such a great game. It's getting updates all the time and whatnot, but sounds almost like we're sponsored by 9 innings, but yeah, I wish we
hey,
were.
maybe in the future, maybe in the future. But
Give us some free stuff.
so what we're going to be talking about today for Nine Innings Academy is the different card types in the game. All right. So there's different types of cards, just like any team making game. We got the basic cards we're going to start out with. These are just normal cards. All right. Every single player that's
They're just
played
normal cards.
got this card, right? These guys are cards for players who play from the year 2000 and up until just now. All right. Now, when the
They're
season
just your
starts,
traditional normal cards.
right? When the season starts, they have the players that are playing for this particular whoa English particular season. They are called live season cards. Now, they don't really have much of a benefit other than that their stats fluctuate depending
Well,
on how they're doing.
I'm pretty sure in the recent when they gave out come to us, which is the people who make nine innings, when they put out a little note about some of the upcoming stuff that they're hopefully have out for 2026. I'm pretty sure there's some stuff about some new buffs to live players and whatnot. So
I think I
there
did
might be
see
some
that.
more stuff coming with that soon, but
Yes, sir.
like I think I saw like a live shop or something. But so there
Yeah,
might be some upcoming stuff with that soon. But right now you just kind of have the players of the month or whatnot, which they get a +10 overall bonus if it's a live player and their real life stats were good enough to make them as one of the best players throughout that month. So they'll get a little bit of a bonus, but it only lasts for 1 month until the next set of players of the month come in.
all right, and then I'd say probably the next best card type would probably be the vintage cards. What those are, it's pretty much the same as a normal card, but very few people have them. It's just guys who are significant to a team, and they played before the year 2000. So anybody from 1870 all the way up to 1999 would have a vintage card in the game, but not
Yeah,
everybody gets
there's
it.
some interesting ones of them too, man. It's like, man, I've never heard of this card ever, but it's fun. It's fun, and hopefully maybe we can get some images of these cards as well, so you kind of know what we're talking about too.
Yeah, and
Because they're all denoted by different, they look different. Each card will look different. A normal card does not look like a vintage card. They're in different styles.
yeah, they all do have different styles. The vintage cards, what they give you, they also give you a +1 overall boost when you turn it into a Black Diamond card, which we'll explain Black Diamond in a different episode, but that's a buff that it'll give you
Pretty
there.
simple. Pretty
Yep,
simple.
pretty simplistic card.
Basically, they're like vintages are like normal cars, just slightly better when you start to get them up to Black Diamond. And typically, the vintage cars are pretty good overall anyway, so a lot of them are pretty high in their stats.
For sure, for sure. And the next one's going off of that concept with the cards being pretty high overall. We have the prime cards. Now, prime cards are exactly what they sound like. It's a card that is a player during their prime, right? Their 1 year
Hmm.
peak, that player will get a
Well,
prime card.
except
Sometimes
with
it's
9 innings,
janky.
sometimes they'll give out multiple prime cards, so it's a little interesting because obviously they don't know what the player's going to do a few years down the road. So they might have a better prime later on, but you'll still have those multiple prime cards.
Yep. And the buffs for those cards is it's obviously a higher overall than the normal card for the player. Um, Pretty much that's it. You get when you turn them Black Diamond, they technically get +2 overall due to the grade increase, but we'll get into all that down the line. Just
And
higher
they look
overall
cool. You
card,
got
yeah.
the three little slashes going down the card, and it turns purple if you pull it in a normal pack or whatnot. But
Yeah, very cool. Next up, I'd probably say we have Legends as our next best card.
yeah, I'd go Legends.
Legends are exactly what they sound like. These guys are some of the best players in franchise history, okay, for specific teams. Each team will, some teams don't even have any, but like the Marlins
Yep.
and things like that. But typically you'll have like your best 3 or 4 franchise players ever.
Hmm.
Um,
Think of guys like Mickey Mantle or Chipper Jones, those type guys who are very important to a team's franchise and legacy, but also put up some amazing career stats, and guys like Roberto Clemente and that type of stuff.
For sure. And these guys, this is where you get into these very good buffs. All right. Each card has what's called skills, which is basically three abilities that make the card perform better. And the highest level that they can start out at is level 3. Very rare to get all three skills at level 3. Legends
It's a tough one.
automatically get 333 sets, and they have a higher ability to pull. It's called a legend set. We'll get to that down the road, probably next few episodes to get into the legend skills. But that's basically they make
Yeah,
your card good.
those are more late game cards. Once you get down the road, normal cards useless. They're not going to make your team, unless you have a few spots where you haven't been able to pull a good card for it. Vintages, again down the road, they're not going to be there. Legends can be there because again, if you get a good set with the guaranteed 3-3 set, legends are solid. Legends are solid.
Yeah, we have quite a few legends on our teams actually. But the real late game cards, well, recently they've come out with a better one. These cards used to be the best in the game is signature cards. Now these guys are only good if they're for your team. If I'm a Braves team, I want Brave signatures. If I'm a Yankees team, I want
Yep.
Yankee signatures, right? And
Yes, sir.
what this does is if you get a what's called a team sig, so a Brave sig for a Braves team, these guys go up 10 overall. 10 overall. And they're already good because only a few people each year get sig cards. Signature cards is what they're called, and
Mm-hmm.
Connor will probably pop one up on the screen so you can see why it's called a signature card. Just has their autograph on the front of it, but
Got their signature. Yeah.
very very
I mean,
solid
they're
card type.
but they're hard to pull because you can only get them throughout a few different. You have to get them through special. These signature packs. They're the other cards you can pull through different type packs, like through a premium pack. You have a very small chance, but you can pull a legend. But from these signatures, you can only get them through signature packs, which are pretty rare to get. But even then, they're not useful unless they're diamonds. So you might be able to pull it, but still you'd have to wait for a GI or maybe you get lucky and you pull it as a diamond. But they typically they're a lot tougher to get.
Yeah, and then we have the single best card type in the game. This one just came out in the last few years here.
Debatable.
This is the Supreme card type. Supreme's so many benefits. Most cards only train up to level 20. These guys level 30. They get literally to the next level.
So you get a pretty much a +5 overall. Compared to Sigs, but also they're also Supremes. They're the entire amazing players' stats throughout their entire career. So they are going to be just the base stats are very very high compared to normal cards, just because these are the best players who have ever played the game. Guys like Babe Ruth. There's even one for like Mickey Mantle. There's that also shows there's different. You can have different rarities of cards for the same player. Maybe a guy like Greg Maddux, he has a Supreme as well. Actually, I have him. So there's
True.
they're just these really strong cards, very late game cards. But you still have to, it takes a lot more to develop them because you got to put in more points, more training, and you're still gonna get the skills and stuff from them as well.
So we have a little idea here. We obviously explained the prime cards to you. We have a couple primes prepared that we think should be in the game, but they're currently not in the game. So maybe come to us. We'll see this and consider putting them in the game. I don't know, but got a couple options for them here. Josh, you want to go ahead and lead off?
So we have a card that we've been talking about for forever. Because up until recently the Braves haven't had any great catcher cards in the game, but now we got Joe Torre, so that's kind of fixed it a bit. But one guy that I'd love to see is my man Javi Lopez. I mean, back in probably go for 2003 card where 6.8 WAR, he hit 43 homers. Um, he bat 328, good for a OPS of 1.065. I mean, that's one of the best catcher seasons, honestly, of all time. That's still, if you look at OPS, that's better than the season that the Big Dumper just had. So I think that card it'd be incredible. I mean, Braves decks would just be, their mouths are watering for something like that. So I would love to see a Javi Lopez card. I mean, the offense of that card would be crazy. Even though catchers really you want them mainly for fielding because of how the game works. You want high fielding on catchers. Because it helps out with your pitching staff. But still, I'd love me a Javi Lopez prime.
I mean, that is the definition of a prime season. This guy, solid career, but this season is just set apart from the rest. It just makes sense, honestly. And I have a couple guys prepared for the Braves. I have Eric O'Flaherty, a reliever. 2011 season, he put up 3.3 WAR with a sub 1
Mm,
ERA. In
wow.
let's see, how many games did he pitch? 78 games. Just a great year from him. Solid strikeout numbers. We had also Mike Remlinger. I don't know if that's even how you say that, but 2002, another good reliever. Um, just a solid prime year. And going off what you were saying with the Braves not having many catchers, Brian McCann, 2008, is another card I have.
Yeah, I'd love to see my man B Mac in the game. That'd be fun for sure.
I mean, the fielding on that card would be exceptional. Hitting stats, fairly solid year for him that year, 2008. But those are just
Gotta love
a
yourself
couple
some B Mac.
cards that would be good to have in the game. And I know you have one more card I think prepared. I'm going to go ahead and list off the ones I have for the Twins as well. Just you know, I got for the Twins. Yeah, this is extremely surprising. There is not a Johan Santana card in the game.
That is very weird.
Johan Santana 2004 was his best season. I mean, bro, pull up those stats, man. Look at that exceptional year from Johan Santana in 2004. We got also Nelson Cruz in 2019. Quite a few home runs that year, solid OPS.
Mm.
And this is a weird one, but maybe a Jorge Polanco 21 card, right?
Yeah, yeah, I could see it. I could see it. Now, we were talking about the freak earlier. My man, Tim Lincecum. I think he could have a great prime. I mean, you have two options with this 2008 and 2009 season. I mean, in 2008, he put up a 7.8 WAR, 227 innings, 265 strikeouts. Is insane.
It
And
is
only
absolutely insane.
yeah, 168 ERA or ERA plus, and then the season after he had a 171 ERA plus. So I don't know. I think he again in the ERAs for the seasons, 2.62 for 2008 and 2.48 for 2009. I mean, I know Giants decks would really love a Tim Lincecum.
Oh my goodness, dude! That again, the definition of a prime card. And I have one just the exact same. I feel Chris Davis, 2013 with the Orioles,
Yep.
7.1 WAR. This is his only All Star year. He had 53 homers, 138 RBIs. Obviously, it's Chris Davis, so his average was atrocious. But I mean, actually, 286 not that bad, but uh, over 1,000 OPS. Uh,
Yeah.
Obviously first baseman, so not great fielding numbers, but to put up a 7.1 WAR season, third in MVP voting, Silver
Yeah.
Slugger that year.
To me, that just sounds very similar to the 2023 Prime Matt Olson. I mean, very good pop, good defense, but honestly, possibly even better because he had a better offensive season than 23 Matt Olson.
Exactly, sir. And I have a super crazy season here. Mark Trumbo 2016. Listen to these stats, and I want you to tell me what you think this man's season WAR was. Okay? He
Okay.
played 159 games. He had 47 home runs, 108 RBIs.
Mm.
He had two stolen bases. All right, surprising.
There we go. That's a speed demon right there.
Yes, sir. 256, 256 batting average.
Okay.
He had an 850 OPS with 40 something home runs, which is crazy that that's even possible.
Hmm.
Can you tell me what Mark Trumbo's WAR was that season?
If I were to guess, I'd say 4.7.
His WAR was 2.
Oh my goodness, man. He
47
must
home
have had the
runs.
worst defensive season of all time.
I mean, he was a DH
Wow.
at that point, but
Oh
47
yeah.
home runs and a 2 WAR.
Wow.
That'd be the craziest stats on a card ever, right? And just to round us out, I mean, how cool would it be to have a Darren O'Day prime in the game? That'd be
Man,
exceptional.
not Darren O'Day.
O'Day 2015 with the Orioles? Come on, man.
Mm,
I mean, to see the mechanics he's got, look at the mustache he had
not to
that year.
separate.
Incredible stash that year, man. Actually, it looks really stupid. It looks like two caterpillars grew on top of his mouth, but it's okay because it's Darren O'Day, and everybody loves Darren O'Day, right? Why not give the man
That's
a
true.
prime
That's
card?
true.
Orioles also don't have like any reliever primes as well.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's prime stuff. Primes we'd look for. Hopefully, new primes will be coming out soon in a month or so. There's also a few other upcoming events and stuff. Nothing too crazy outside of the special shop where there is a GI in there. So, if you have your stars, man, the second half of the GI, second half of the special shop, get another GI in there. So that's pretty solid.
Incredible, and I believe you also had a game prepared here for us. Not 9 innings related, but just in general.
All right, so earlier we were talking about the Super Bowl. We have the Super Bowl upcoming this Sunday, and there's a few things that make up the Super Bowl. Obviously, the game itself, the commercials, but let's be honest, the most important part of the Super Bowl is the snacks. So, Jordan, we're gonna go head to head draft style, giving up our top five Super Bowl snacks, and we're gonna have our list of snacks, and let us know in the comments whose list is better. And Jordan, I'll let you lead us off here.
That is a big mistake, brother, letting me lead off. I assume we're going snake style with this draft. I'll go first. You get two in a row. But man,
Or we can just go back and forth.
give me the chicken wings, bro. Give
I
me the
mean,
give
that's
me the
that's pretty
chicken
much as
wings.
automatic as Fernando Mendoza going to the Raiders. I mean, that's
Right.
that's the guaranteed pick there.
Mm, chicken wings, man. Incredible, incredible player. Incredible stats he puts up each year. Goes great with ranch. Incredible guy, man. Just a guy you love to have leading your team off. You know.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. A bunch of variety too. You can go your spicy, non-spicy buffalo. Go with a garlic parm or barbecue or whatnot. But on a similar topic, your first pick being wings. There's something about chicken that's just synonymous with the Super Bowl. Even goes back to like the turducken. But I'm gonna go with my number one pick for some buffalo chicken dip. I
Uh,
mean, it is
yep.
the best dip out there on the market. It's also gonna fill you up because it has chicken in there. It'll mess you up the next day, but that's also part of it. Maybe a reason to call out for work the next day. But buffalo chicken dip, man, just so good, so good. It's basically just buffalo wings, but dippable. So I think that's a pretty good first round pick for both of us.
That's an incredible guy to have on your team as well. The Buffalo Chicken Dip, like he's a leader, man. He's a leader. You know what I'm saying? Huge guy there.
Yeah.
Loves. Listen, man. That's a guy you want on your team. That's a guy you want. And we can do
Uh,
snake style. You can have another pick here, just because I got chicken wings.
all right. Well, since I'm going with buffalo chicken dip as my first spot, I mean, I'm gonna go with another heavy hitter, main course type of thing. I'm gonna go with some pulled pork sliders.
Mmm.
I mean,
Mmm.
pulled pork is one of the best foods out there, anyways. That pairs so good with the heat of your wings. Something maybe a little less, um, wild out there with heat, but so much good flavor. Put some barbecue sauce on there, some cheese. Nothing crazy, because again, you're not trying to, you're trying to have it last throughout a good majority of the Super Bowl. But I don't know, you got to go with the pulled pork sliders.
Yeah, man, a real team player, team player. Not a lot of work goes into him either. You just kind of
It's true.
you just kind of pull a pork, and he's there.
Same same can be said with the buffalo chicken dip. It's not. I mean, if you have the chicken there, then you just kind of combine it, put it together, and there you go, man. It's ready to enjoy.
He's a really coachable guy too. The pulled pork slider, very very open to learning and listening to what the coach has to say. Very very good guy there. Now I could go a
And
couple
out of
directions.
all the things on this list, I feel like that's not going to mess you up as much the next day too. So I feel like that one's a little more, it's a little more conscious of the upcoming days to come.
And he's a little saucy too. Like he's a team player, but he's a little saucy. You know what I mean? Like
It's true. That's true.
he has a little flash to him. Um, like I said, there's a couple directions I could go here. Right, I could go to another
Yep.
main guy, but I got the chicken wings. I'm gonna go with a smaller guy, but you can take a bunch of them down, dude. Give me pigs in a blanket. Give me
Yep.
pigs in a
That's
blanket.
a good pick. That is a great pick.
Great guy, right? A lot of support too, dude.
To me, that's
Good.
that's kind of like it's like the slot receiver of your Super Bowl, like of your Super Bowl snacking. You can just pop them suckers off. That's like if you have enough, you're eating them before the Super Bowl while you're waiting for everyone to show up and the game to start. You're snacking on it throughout because it's not going to completely fill you up. So maybe during halftime, if you have a little bit of cap space available, you're going and picking up the pigs in a blanket. That's a great pick. That's a great pick.
And you know what I really like about him? He's a very versatile guy. Like you're walking through there,
Yep.
right? Some
Hmm.
of these guys, like the buffalo chicken dip and the chicken wings, you've got to toss them on the plate. This guy, you're walking through the kitchen, you're just popping them in your mouth,
That's true.
right in there.
That's true.
He doesn't even need to settle down. Right in there. He's ready. He's ready to go. Right into the action, man. He's ready.
That's true. That's true. What a
Man,
great pick. What a great
love
pick.
that guy. And we got the wieners. Give me the meatballs,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Give me the meatballs.
Mm, that's such a good pick. That was going to
Oh,
be my next pick. I mean, it's just such a great. There's so many different ways you could prepare it too. Either it can be a main thing, like you can have a meatball sub, or you can just have maybe some like barbecue meatballs there too. It's always a crowd pleaser.
very well-rounded guy as well. I mean, just look at him. Look at him. You can see it written all over him. Well-rounded. Come on, man. Love that
That's
guy.
true. That's true. More, it's kind of like your O line. It's just there. It's gonna take up space if you need it to, but it's also just such a great crowd pleaser, man.
Meaty
There's not
guys,
many
too.
people who's gonna go up there and be like, oh, I don't want the meatballs, because some people might be that way with different wings, because you have the heat of certain wings or whatnot, or they're weird. You have to pick through the bone or whatnot, or unless you get the boneless. But barbecue meatball, who's not gonna wanna just sit down and go to town on some meatballs?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think it's I'm gonna close this out here with two picks. I'm gonna go into four spot, loaded tots.
Loaded
Now,
tots,
to
man.
me, the ideal loaded tots is it's gonna combine a bunch of different pieces from different aspects. It's kind of like your tight end. You got a bunch of different aspects all combined into one player. Because you got put some chili on top of the loaded tots, man. Chili again, a pretty solid Super Bowl item, but that's a way to even elevate chili. It's on top of your tots. Maybe put a little bit of cheese sauce too, some bacon, some shredded cheese on there, and you can customize it in all sorts of different ways. I mean, the loaded tots it's such a great item, such a great item.
Yeah, dude. You want to talk about team players, man. Loaded tots is good as they come, man. He's willing to let the other guys shine. He's willing to put them above himself, literally on top of him. He's ready to let them shine, man. He's not a ball hog.
No, he might not. He might not even be your first plate, but certainly he's the type of guy that later on, as the game starts to go and it starts to drag out, maybe it's one of them defensive type of games. You go up, you get a bowl, you get one of them little little bowls, and then you put some of them tots on there, and you just start loading it up. And man, that's a good way to sort of change it up. Maybe coming out of halftime, you need to make some adjustments, and that's your loaded tots right there.
Yes, sir.
And then there's a few great items still on the board, but there is nothing really more synonymous with the Super Bowl and Super Bowl snacks. You got wings, probably the most synonymous, but then you got nachos. I mean, again, very similar to the tots, but you can also do some different things with it. With the good tortilla chips, you can either make it a little more on the heavy side, put some beef on there. You got your cheese, or you can maybe a little more light type. There's all sorts of different ways you can customize your nachos, and I feel like that's just such a iconic food for the Super Bowl is nachos. I mean, there's other stuff out there that's so good, but the nachos it's the face. It's maybe not the face of Super Bowl snacks, but I'd say it's certainly the number 2.
Incredible guy, man. He's chicken wings. He's there all season, dude. Nachos, they're shining in the postseason. Shining in the postseason. That's what they're known for. It's what they're known for is the postseason.
And the thing is, the nachos are gonna pop up everywhere. I promise you, there's gonna be very, very few Super Bowl parties that doesn't have some form of nachos out there. If so, then that's just a crime. There's almost always some sort of nachos that's present at the Super Bowl party. And
It's
again,
true.
that can be maybe a heavier. You get a bunch of nachos at the beginning, or that you can keep coming back to it. You can go to it later on and it still be solid. So it's a solid pick there.
Yep, and you got. Are we doing 5 guys here? 5-guy draft here.
We're doing 5, so close us out here with your last pick.
Yep, I get. I've only got 3 guys so far though. I've only got 3 guys. What are you trying to scam me here? Trying to keep me from getting a full team?
No.
What's going on, man?
You close
Hey,
us
whoa.
out You're closing us out with these last picks, though.
Nah, man, you got one more after. You only got 4. You only got 4
Let's
guys.
see.
You only got 4 guys. You're not going to get me called for 5 guys on the field when you only got 4. Don't try stuff like that. Don't try that. Don't try that with me. Good grief,
You're right.
man.
You're right. I checked the tape.
Come on, man. Flag on the play, dude. Trying to throw me off here.
All right. Let's see your next one's up here.
You know what? You're not going to like this pick. I know you're not going to like this pick.
Okay, you sure about that?
I'm sure. You hate this guy.
Okay.
You've told me
All right.
you hate this guy. You've told me.
Okay, probably.
Bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers. You don't like this
It's a
guy.
little too flashy.
You don't like this guy.
I like certain aspects of his game, but I just don't like it when he puts it all together, and it's it's just that cocky part is outer shell right there, the jalapeno. That really, it's everything else about him is solid. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but if you just get rid of that one aspect, to me that's one of the best players out there. But still, it's you got to get rid of that one aspect, and I think he needs to work on that.
You're too boring.
Personally,
You're too boring. You need a little flash on your team, man. You need some flash.
I have some flash with my buffalo chicken dip, but I'm just I have the flash with some good playing, some good skills, some might say ball carrier actions, but you don't need that stiff, rude cockiness that comes with the jalapeno poppers.
Jalapeno poppers. Shut up. All right, his player comp is Justin Jefferson. That's his player comp. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about, Josh? What are we doing?
I mean, it could be someone like Antonio Brown, but good player, but a little messed up in certain areas. I'm just saying, I don't know. That might kind of mess up some of the morality of your team.
Don't compare him to Antonio Brown, man. That's why we wrapped him in bacon. We're hiding that.
I'm sorry, but
We're hiding that.
I'm sorry, but you changed the jerseys. It's still the same player. You saw that in Tampa, man. So change the jersey. It's the same guy.
That's a fair
Deep down,
point.
It's still the same guy.
That's actually a fair point. Yeah, I didn't think that one through. Josh, I actually have a list of 9 items that I was gonna that were my options to pick here, and
Okay.
you know, 8 of the 9 have been taken. I'm taking the 8th guy,
All right.
or you know
Okay.
what I mean. I'm taking the last guy.
Mm-hmm.
Listen up, listen up, man.
Yep.
This is a
Yep.
stand up
What's your
guy.
last pick?
This is a stand up
Okay.
guy.
Okay.
Loaded potato skins.
Okay. Now I can't say that's something that you see very often. It's more of a specialty. It's kind of like the onside kick. It's not something that you're gonna see that often. But when you do see it, everyone's like, "Oh my goodness, it's an onside kick." It's the same thing with that, man. That's a good pick. I appreciate. I like that one. It's a
Yeah.
good bounce back after your previous pick.
Shout out as well to the loaded potato skins, dude. TGI Fridays, man. Shout out to them.
It's kind of like it's like the cousins of the loaded tots. It's there. It's
Yeah.
very similar, maybe a little less accessible and not quite there as often for you, but still, it's a solid stand-in. It's a solid stand-in.
I think they went to the same high school as well, I believe.
Probably.
But yeah, TGI Fridays, big sponsor for them. Really, really love those guys, man. Good player. Finish us off, Josh.
I think the obvious 5 spot. This is something that can easily compete with your pigs in a blanket. Very same style of thing.
Don't you
It's
say it.
it's your it's your
Don't you
pizza
say
rolls.
it.
It's your
Oh,
pizza rolls.
okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm sorry. It's your pizza rolls. Think about it. You can be popping them all game. That's the same thing. It's the same thing to compete with your pigs in the blanket. It's like the corner to go against your receiver in the pigs in the blanket. It's just gonna be there. You can pop them before the game. You can pop them whenever. It's such an iconic thing as well. It's you got to go with the pizza rolls.
He's immature. He's immature. He's childish.
It's no. It's such a solid choice. It
He's
really
childish.
combats everything well because some things you got to dip. You got to dip, and there's a lot of good dips out there. But sometimes you just want to pop it in your mouth. It's a great competition to your pigs in a blanket. I'm just saying, and who doesn't like pizza? There's not going to be someone out there at the Super Bowl party. If someone brings a bunch of pizza rolls, you pop them in the air fryer or whatnot. There's not going to be someone there who's going to be like, no, man, I'm not going to take the pizza rolls. Typically, that's one of the first things that goes is the pizza rolls because they might not have the highest ceiling out there on the field, but they certainly have one of the highest floors. Everyone enjoys themselves some good pizza rolls.
Josh, I agree.
Mean, that's
Listen,
that's everyone out there.
I agree with what you're saying, but you're ignoring the problem. All right, he's a childish guy. He's immature. He's not ready. He's not ready for the big stage. He's not ready for the big game. He's not. All right? I'm
Then
sorry.
I'd combat that by saying, why is he always a hot commodity at every Super Bowl party? I mean, I gotta be honest. One of the easiest things you can ever do for a last minute Super Bowl party, a lot of stuff at the store's gone. You might not be able to go get wings or whatnot, but how easy is it to go and get a thing of pizza rolls, man? Pop those, like I said, in the air fryer or whatnot, and dip it in some ranch too. That can elevate his game a little bit better. So I'm just saying that your take there is just not the correct one.
Have you ever thought about this?
My pizza rolls will lock down your pigs in a blanket.
Have you
I'm
ever
just saying,
thought
that's
about
right.
this?
That's right.
Have you ever thought about the reason you go to the store around Super Bowl time? You're looking for the pizza rolls. He's not there. He doesn't show up. You know why? You know why? Because he's not ready. He's scared. He's nervous. He's not going to show up. He's not ready. He's not ready. So he just doesn't even make a show. He doesn't even make an appearance in the store. He's scared. He's scared, man.
I disagree.
He's
He's
scared.
a hot commodity.
No.
Some
No.
teams out there really, really wish that
Oh.
they had someone like the pizza roll.
And that's another thing. That's another thing. Talking about hot commodities, you can pop them suckers and burn your mouth. That'll ruin your whole Super Bowl.
No,
Injury
no.
in the first
I mean,
quarter. Dangerous, man. He's a dangerous player. Not ready, immature.
I'd rather have someone like the pizza rolls than your loaded jalapeno poppers. I mean, that can have some negative connotations to it. There's a little bit of bitterness there too.
Oh!
But with the pizza rolls, maybe that's the solid thing. They're nice and crunchy on the outside. also you got the creamy goodness on the inside with the pizza sauce and cheese and some pepper. It just combines so many good flavors.
Nah,
So
bro.
versatile. And to me, you're saying that you're getting burnt on the pizza roll. That's just bad play calling. You're not utilizing the pizza roll's abilities to really execute out there on the field. That's just bad play calling.
You're the guy that put him in.
I'm putting him in on my team. You're saying that your usage of the pizza rolls would be different, and you're getting bad performance from the pizza rolls because you're not using the pizza rolls as they're intended to be used. I'm just saying.
Hey, you're being discriminatory also against my jalapeno poppers, and he doesn't appreciate that. He doesn't appreciate that.
Well, he doesn't appreciate anything, man. He gets mad if he doesn't get 500 receiving yards a game. I mean, that's
Whoa, whoa.
Your jalapeno popper is. I'm just saying.
Whoa.
But I can appreciate your other picks and your meatballs and your wings. Those are solid picks.
All right, yeah, respect.
But I'm just saying, I'd take my buffalo chicken dip over. I don't know. I think that's a pretty solid comp. I mean, they're very, very similar players.
But I've got the MVP.
You do have, well, you have the Matthew Stafford, but I have the Drake May. You know.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You have. I'll agree with you for sure. Wings is the MVP. But
Hey,
literally just a tick below that is the buffalo chicken.
But-
I mean,
it doesn't matter what we think. It don't. The winner is selected
It's true.
by the fans, the comment
that's
section,
true.
the viewers, man. Comment
That's
who
true.
won,
Well,
JJ or Josh. Josh, yeah. JJ, yeah,
I don't-
he
I-
won. He won.
I don't know.
Me.
You had some interesting
I
picks
won.
out there. I don't know. Who wouldn't want to go to a Super Bowl party that has buffalo chicken dip, some, loaded tots. Loaded tots is such a good pick there. It combats a lot of stuff, and you got your nachos as well. You don't have anything as versatile as nachos on your field. I mean, you have your loaded potato skins, but the nachos amazing, and the pulled pork sliders. I don't know. Sometimes that's a guy that
I
I'm sorry,
wanted
but
him.
he has the superstar factor on him. He's a guy that can go out there and rush for 150, 200 yards. He's
Yeah.
the type of guy that you look back and you can single-handedly win a game based off of his performance. So I'm just saying,
I
don't know.
did
There's
want that
reason to-
guy.
It's like I wanted your meatballs. Like I don't know. If I could trade for your meatballs, that would be
Well-
the one thing I would try to get because I love meatballs. I'm just a meatball man. You can make them barbecue. You can make them.
Do you remember though?
Sorts
Do you
of-
remember the pulled pork slider? His game back in 2014. I think they called it the meat quake. You remember that? That performance? That performance he put up, man.
Okay.
That was a crazy performance out of the guy, dude. That was insane.
All right, but again, tell us who won. I don't know. It's tough.
It's up to you
Depends
guys.
It depends on. No,
It's up to you guys. But I won. Anyway,
I don't know.
we're gonna start wrapping this segment up. We're gonna start wrapping this episode up. But before we go, we have a segment that's gonna hopefully set us apart from all the other sports podcasts in the industry. We're gonna have a segment called the Winter Olympics segment, which is only this one episode.
I know that there's at least one person out there who might be somewhat interested about that. They're like, oh my goodness, the Winter Olympics. But no, the Winter Olympics are fun. It is cool. It's cool to see, again, just like the WBC, see nations compete and see some of the best athletes on the on the planet competing and doing interesting different things. Because the Winter Olympics, you have some very unique games and all sorts of different things that really test a bunch of skill, strategy, and just the peak of the human performance.
I know there's a game that me and Josh have really been looking forward to. I know we talked about this, man. Curling, dude. Curling.
I'm a curling guy.
Dude.
That and the bobsledding. It's to me some of the best games out there on the Olympics. It's very fun to look at.
Dude, do you remember the year that the Jamaican team had that one time for bobsledding? Dude, they made a movie about that team. Not many bobsled teams have a movie about them.
That's true.
let alone a Disney movie.
You don't see any movies about the Canadian bobsledding team.
Nah, bro. Nah. Terrible. But
no, I'm looking forward to some of the Olympics, and maybe Jordan can give some updates on stuff as we go along.
yeah, the Olympics is a multi-week event, so we're planning on being a weekly episode podcast. So I give a little medal counter each time. Right now, when I just checked it not long ago, it looked like it was a tie for first place between Italy and Sweden. I believe was the tie.
Okay.
They both had a gold medal, and I think also Switzerland had one as well, if I remember right. So those guys are on top right now. Obviously, Italy with the home field advantage, with it being in Milan.
That is true.
Yeah, should be a good couple weeks of sporting action here.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Now it's time for the verse of the week.
That's right. This is something that we're hoping will set us apart from the other sports podcasts. I know I joked about it with the Winter Olympics, but hopefully this is something that will actually set us apart from the rest here. Josh, he was a preacher boy over the summer, and I believe you said you have aspirations to be a pastor, right, Josh?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Yep. So this is a segment that we really are looking forward to, and usually Josh is going to head it up just on the account that he's got practice with it, more practice than me. And Josh, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, man. Like I said, this will, just like the Tomahawk Talk in the Innings Academy. This will be here every week, hopefully. So it's something important. We have fun talking about the sports and stuff, but hopefully end it on a more real and practical note. I just want to look at Matthew 5:13 real fast, which says, "Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men." Now, this week is Super Bowl Sunday. I'm looking forward to all the good food. Like I said, that's probably one of my favorite parts. But a lot of all those recipes with stuff, man, they almost all have salt. I mean, even if you just think about the tortilla chips or even something like your wings or buffalo chicken dip, it's all going to have that signature, salty flavor. And that's the importance of salt. Salt, that's good flavor. And here, Jesus is talking, with the Sermon on the Mount, and the big thing here, he's comparing Christians to salt. Because just as salt flavors different things, Christians themselves should flavor the world. And by flavor the world, I mean we should be doing good things. A lot of times Christians like to sort of sit under the radar, maybe try not to stand out or be too different, but instead we're called to be the exact opposite, to add a little bit of flavor to the world and try to get us to stay away from some of the regression that happens. Because another important thing with salt is it's a preservative. It keeps things from decaying. Back in those ancient times, they would use salt to preserve, especially their meats, because they couldn't just go to the local market, get some lamb or whatever, and store it in the refrigerator for a few weeks. No, they had to use something to preserve it, and that was salt. And as believers, we should be trying to keep this world from decaying as much as we can. It's a messed up place, but we should certainly be going out there and trying to be active. That's what this verse is calling us to do. Christians being active, doing our part, and doing the different things that Christ has commanded us. So that's our verse of the week for this week. I'm looking forward to next week's verse as well.
Yes, sir. We appreciate that, Josh. Yeah, like he was saying, the salt of the earth. That is us. Jesus commands us to be the salt of the earth, right? We gotta add our own special flavor into it. We're called to be different. We're called to stand out. Be holy as I am holy. Holy means set apart. We want to be set apart from the rest of the world, right? And
Yeah.
and this is Jesus telling us how to do that right here. So I believe that will conclude our episode for today. It's a pretty long episode, so have fun editing
Yeah,
it, Connor.
special shout out to Connor, our editor, for all this, man. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's a way to hopefully we record for a day and send this off to him and he can get this all put together. So if it's good, hit Connor with some love down in the comments too. So thanks
Yep.
to Connor and
And
Biggins, like we said earlier, for recording all of our little openings and stuff. That's something fun that we thought a fun way to introduce Biggins, because I gotta be honest, without Biggins, I probably wouldn't be into 9 innings as much, because he's a great friend who came along and brought all of his different accounts, and he's the reason why our club was able to grow. So thanks to Biggins
yes,
too.
sir. For sure, 100%. Shout out to Biggins, shout out to Connor. And guys, we apologize for this episode being probably like 3 hours long. This is our first time doing something like this. So we'll
Hey,
try to shorten it up.
something to listen to throughout your week.
Yeah, bro. That's the thing is if it's gonna be a weekly thing, maybe you just a half hour each day, you know what I mean? Space it out a
Yeah.
little bit.
Maybe we'll hopefully get to where we can bookmark certain things. So, like we said, we also gave at the beginning the different segments we talk about. So, maybe hit the Super Bowl part first before getting to the Super Bowl, seeing if we're right or wrong
Yes,
about our
sir.
different projections and takes, and then maybe hit a little bit each time. But yeah, thanks for doing this, Jordan. It's been a fun episode, and looking forward to it next week as well, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Josh. It's been a great time, and we'll see you guys next week, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have something nice and special for next week, and keep going on.
Yes, sir. All right. Take it easy, you guys. Chop on.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for listening to Chopping It Up with Josh and Jordan.